us this evening. We're just warming up the broadcast right now. According to my computer, it's about going on, but it usually goes on a little sooner. So anyway, thanks everyone for joining us. We are kicking back, and I'm just waiting for approval from You're Live. All right. Alrighty, ready. Well, let's check out our music. Boom. Welcome. Let's do our intro. Yeah. Street Level Spirituality coming at you with another StreetLevel.Live. That is the event. That's the website. Check it out, StreetLevel.Live. And we've got all sorts of awesome astrology charts you can get done, special readings, video Zoom calls, tarot readings. We got flower essences on there to cheer you up a little bit. We got some new music tonight. Put together a whole new original 50-minute mix. So we've got three new mixes. I do all the music for the channel. So if you like any of the music, I have a brand new album called Our Invisible Guest. It's a name your price download on my site, on my website, StreetLevel.Live. I make weird music. If you're into weird stuff, spiritually based, soul searching, trying to figure life out, you got it. Name the price. I think it actually forces you to spend like at least $1 on it, but it's 13 tracks. Hey man, it's good stuff. This right here is just some background chill music, but I make some nice weird music too. Yeah. Anyway, it's Friday night. What the hell are you guys doing on a Friday night? I feel like Friday nights we've had to create a whole new way to hang out, right? So part of my motivation here to do Street Level Live is to have a place to hang out, chill out. It's been going really well. Been really stoked. I'm not sure about my bot. My bot's been revolting, but I think I got my alerts going. CloudBot is on. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. Anyway, I'm trying to figure it out. They said wait 10 minutes and all of a sudden I don't even know what's going on here. Sign into chat. Let's see if we can sign into chat. Let's do it this way. Got a live stream on. Let's check out YouTube here. Get going, kind of get warmed up here while people show up. Usually it's a few minutes and then someone shows up and then everyone wants readings. It was really nice. Last time I actually had, yeah, there we go. We're live. Episode 8. We had, God, I had to turn down like 3 readings last time. I felt bad. Looking to get up to, I was up to 50 subscribers. Looks like we're down 1. Looking to get up to, I don't know, like 55 subscribers tonight. That'd be great. Keep working on my long-term goal to get up to 100. Trying to get things warmed up. All right, so it says, say something. Let's check this out. Join. Let's see if that works. I don't know. My bot's on revolt. Okay, so interesting. All right, well, we're there. Well, we got a viewer. If anybody wants a question, we are doing. Oh, we're still on intro. Let's go to main here. Let's get our message up. We are doing Astro-Tarot for spiritual growth. What that means is we're doing tarot readings, and if you know your astrology, your sun sign, your ascendant, or your moon sign, we'll integrate that into the process. Got flies flying around here. And so feel free to ask a question. If you get in early, I can give you a full reading. You know, the way I read's actually kind of the same in everything I do. It's, let me know if the music's too loud. I've kind of been pumping it up a little bit. People ask questions, but it's, you know, it's tarot for spiritual growth, right? So most of the time, the way it works, I don't know if it's the guides I work with or the work that I do or what's going on here, but it's always kind of like what's really going on behind the scenes and what we can do to best serve the situation, right? So not create any karma for ourselves or others or harm others, right? So it's kind of like what liberates you from the situation so you can start creating more harmonious relationships. So if you're up for that, I'm up for a reading. How you guys doing tonight? 11 p.m. on a Friday night. Come on. I know you guys are cruising around looking for something to do. Hang out with me. And I got some weird herbal brew here I'm drinking. Anyway, got all the May videos up for Hanging With, which is my video series of the astrology for the month and a personal tarot reading for each sign. So there's 12 videos up for the month. Looking to work on the ones for June in the next week here, get those out. But looking to kind of make those more highly produced, these more of the live kind of hangouts. So anyway, kind of just reevaluating that. But want to make it a lot of fun. I'm going to do astro weather, tarot reading, some kind of hangout thing. So anyway, we'll see what happens. Anyone coming by, feel free to ask a question. Sometimes if I do this view, it looks a little more official. We got the tarot cards. So you look at, they're just hanging out here waiting for you. Oh, look at that. You are the magician. 3-card reading, complimentary. Any donation receives a 10-card reading. Donations are great. Subscribes are great. Thank you very much. We're on episode 8. StreetLevel.Live. Anyway, got a lot of astrology coming up here this month. This should be an interesting month. We have Saturn going retrograde, which is a big deal. It's karma time. You know, when Saturn goes retrograde, that's when karma kind of comes back. And if you've been a good boy or a good girl, then you have a break. And if you haven't really honored yourself or others, then sometimes it's time to pay the credit card, so to say. So that should be interesting. That's going to be going for a number of months. We also have Jupiter going retrograde, and we have Saturn going retrograde. Sorry, not Saturn. Venus going retrograde in Gemini, in the sign of Gemini. So, and God, you know what? I really wish I could get this chatbot working, because I think it said, let's see, maybe you have to, I already signed into chat. Say something. Sign into chat. All messages open in a web browser. Looks like I have to do it here. Okay, testing. It's every time there's, it's like you have to do it within a few minutes or something. I don't know. This thing ain't working. Anyway, that's my chat bot. It's not my friend. Queue. Close queue. Oh, I do have someone in the queue. It did work. Okay, there we go. Yeah, and it said 10 minutes. All right, well, there you go. We have chatbot working. Yay, chatbot. Looks like you have to kind of activate chatbot and then he works. So anyway, yay. So it looks like we activated chatbot. If anyone has a question, we are reading tarot cards this evening. It's an opportunity to get a free reading. I'm growing my channel. Get on it. We're just chilling. All new music tonight. I just finished it earlier. Trying to make this more casual, more enjoyable, right? Anyway, let me know if the music and the video is looking good. Anyone wants a reading, let me know. If not, what we'll do is we can go over some tarot cards, do a little education, and then take it from there. Let's do what we did last night, or last time, which was the day before. Let's do an Edgar Cayce card, which can set the tone for the evening, and we can kind of make that the tone. It may look dark, but man, these lights are bright, man. Get me. Anyway, Edgar Cayce is who's known as the Sleeping Prophet. The Sleeping Prophet. Edgar Cayce lived from the late 1800s until 1945? 65? 45? Something like that. He lost his voice for like a year. They couldn't figure out what was going on. And a last-ditch attempt to reclaim his voice, they brought him to a new thing in town, which was a hypnotist. And they thought, oh, let's give it a shot. They put him under they hypnotized him. And a voice came through that was talking and could talk perfectly fine. So they were puzzled. They're like, well, how is it that he's able to speak so clearly, but he hasn't been able to speak for the last year? And the voice actually self-diagnosed him. So this voice that was coming through, it appears to be some kind of like higher self, or more like it's like the part of ourself that knows everything, and he was able to tap into it. So you could say it like your higher self or higher conscious, whatever it is. I'm not really sure if it was him, an aspect of himself. It didn't sound like it was someone else. So slowly got his voice back, but then they learned he also had this gift. So started off with a lot of health readings for children for free. It helped a lot of people regain their health. And then started having more interesting readings about history and spirituality and things of that sort. So we have all these cards here. And what we'll do is flip over to our... God, I'm so glad the bot's working. That's great. Got some new music. The bot's working. Seems like a good night. I just wish these lights weren't burning my eyeballs out, but it's worth it, right? Looks good. Kind of moody. Check out these jams, dude. I made this custom just for the stream. Thought, yeah, let's create some chili jams. Tarot view. Here we go. Which we will call our card view, I guess. So here are the cards. They're full of different messages and quotes from his readings, from thousands of readings. So let's give these guys a shuffle. Just give them a little mixeroo. Oh my gosh, it's Shelly! Hey Shelly, how are you? How am I doing? I'm doing pretty good. I've had a long day, but it's Friday night. I made all new music for the stream tonight. I'm super excited. I try to make some nice chili jams, you know. And we're just having fun. Look at these colors. Look at that blue and the stars and the red and the logo, and yay! I mean, everyone's at home, you know. Shoot, make Friday night good, right, Shelly? Thank you for asking. Shelly, how are you doing? How was your day today? What did you do today? Shelly, what did you do? Yay, it's like shooting stars. Staying home, yep. That's exactly where I'm at right now. See, I try to make it look pretty good, right? So look at, so here's my main view, right? Got the stars in the background, the lights and everything. But I'm telling you, everything out of view, man, I'm like throwing, you know, laundry houses to be folding. I'm like, you know, I sometimes it's better than others, but appearances, you know. Anyway, Shelly, would you like to... am I reading for someone now? I just started. Practice piano. Oh my gosh, that sounds so fun. I just made all this music today that we're listening to. A lot of it's samples and stuff like that, but just some like smooth jams. Maybe Shelly could jam some piano on top of some beats. We're chilling. Awesome. Cooking, yeah. I love cooking. Made some, I got some of these weird white beans that I've never seen before. Cook some of those. Yay. Piano and cooking. I am not reading for someone right now. I just started streaming, and you're my first visitor. Looks like we have another viewer also. So anyone's more than welcome to ask a question. Shelly, would you help me pick an Edgar Cayce card? Let's break it up. Why don't you pick a number between 1 and 3, if you'd like to do that. And we will go to our tarot view. Oh, there we go. And we're just going to get an inspiration for the evening. An inspiration for hanging out tonight. I don't know if you know who Edgar Cayce is, but I'm going to pick a quote from Edgar Cayce. Un, dos, or tres. 3. You got it. Thank you so much for your help. It's really nice when you have that audience participation, right? What I love about what's going on, it's you know, some people are like freaking out and full of fear and all this stuff. And then other people are like, wow, you know what? Isn't it really great to like learn how to connect with people again and appreciate relationships and really see the gift that we all get from each other? It's a wonderful thing. So thank you so much. All right, Miss Shelley. Oh, this is interesting. Look at that. Out of all the cards we got this one card that's the descriptor card that I didn't take out. So let's just take that as an opportunity to read a little a history about Edgar Cayce. So, and let me know if the music's too loud. I got a little excited about the new music, so it might be a little too loud. If it is, just let me know. Let's read about Edgar Cayce. Optimistic, you know, it's one of those weird things. It's so easy. You know, this is like my dharma to do this work, right? To try and be positive and give something good from myself. I've spent my whole life doing like corporate branding and marketing work, you know. So to do this work, it's like it's me trying to find that optimism of that I can be who I really am, you know, and try to keep my chin up and I see such a lack of goodness today in the world that, you know, I just want to do something that promotes some kind of goodness, you know. So I totally hear you about the optimism. It's difficult sometimes, but I don't know. It's like, you know, it just feels like we need to somehow just like try to capture that frequency and keep the hope alive, so to say, you know, and be examples for each other. And, you know, I get really sad sometimes, to be honest with you, you know, and it's just, we got to dig deep, you know. So I think it's wonderful that you're playing piano and cooking and taking care of yourself, and you know that's what it takes to make the magic happen, right? And then we got each other, right? We all got each other. We can do that. So I'm gonna read it. Let's read about Edgar Cayce here. It says, when Cayce was just a boy living on a farm in 19th century Kentucky, all he wanted to do was help people. Now, more than 100 years later, his psychic readings still bring hope, health, and spiritual wisdom to a world of seekers. We've chosen 52 of his most inspiring spiritual quotes and combined them together in this card set to offer you that wisdom at your fingertips. You can choose a card for every week of your year. Draw one daily, or perhaps draw one at random when you need help making a decision. Letting the universe guide you. Whatever your method, you're sure to find inspiration from the sleeping prophet himself. So, Shelley, somehow you just magically picked that one magic card out of the whole deck. So that's pretty cool. So now that we did that, let's do it again. Hit me with another number, Shelley, and let's see what message we get here. Now that we got a little background on the thing. All right, here we go. 1, 2, or 3. What do you think, Shelley? I like that blue and red together. It looks good, huh? Hey man, it sure beats sitting around by ourselves, right? Not being optimistic. We can be optimistic together, right? I kind of had to put these jams together pretty quickly, but I think they're kind of fun. I want to have fun, right? A lot of the spiritual stuff can be so serious, you know? I joined this spiritual group on Facebook, and I thought, oh, you know, I'm doing tarot readings, and, you know, being on the spiritual group would be good. And, God, man, people are so judgmental and, like, serious and, like, ugh. I was like, kind of had to get off. I got off one of them. It was just too heavy, you know? It's like... Sorry about wearing white, but I'm still a human being, right? Anyway, that's how I am. But I grew up in an ultra spiritual environment, hippie communes, all that kind of stuff. All right, here we go. We were just talking about music. We got new music. And Shelly, you are the piano player. We said we're trying to be optimistic. You pulled a card about music. So between you pulling that card about the history of Edgar Cayce, now music, I'm starting to feel like we're getting some messages here. So let's take this as a positive sign that we're on the right track. And we both make music, so let's read about what Edgar Cayce says about music, right? Music is that which spans the distance between the finite and the infinite. Keep the music, for it is oft a help to thee to quell the storms of life. Hey, I don't know what to say about that, Shelley, but I'd say that's a good message. Let's read it one more time. Music is that which spans the distance between the finite and the infinite. Keep the music, for it is often a help to thee to quell the storms of life. Well, let's navigate the waters here with music. Keep playing that piano. Let's make this happen. Listen to these crazy jams I just made today. Spirited. Now, Miss Shelley, thank you for stopping by. And my question to you is, would you like a reading? I would love to give you one if you want one. And if not, if you want to hang out, that's cool too. Or we can talk astrology. Do a chart for you or something like that. I do, let's see here. My astrology software is on my laptop, which is over here. So I can't stream it, but I actually can put... They sent me the wrong registration codes. I actually can register it. We can do some astrology if you want to do anything like that. Let me know. Put your information in there. Let's see here. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's see. Unless you'd like to do a tarot reading. Use time passages. Where'd it go? Time passages. Time passages. And I've got so many folders. Here's the folders. Applications. There's time passages. Okie dokie. Okay. Oh, well, apparently now my serial number works, so everything's working fine. So, let's see what Miss Shelley said. Okay, great. Yeah, if you'd like to have a reading, why don't you hit me with a question. We'll do a 3-card reading for you and see what's going on. And while you're getting your question together, I'm going to go to this Astro view here, and then let's fix this view here. So I should be able to load in the software. All this software is so amazing. You can do all sorts of cool things with it. I can load in my astrology software. Boom, look at that. Boom. There is the astrology software. Let's see if it is, looks like a little crooked. A little crooked, so let's move it over here. And that is the astrology. What day is this? This is May 3rd. We can pull it up for, let's edit the chart data. And let's go to now. Let's check out the astrology right now. Those are the planets right now. So that's that. So if you want a chart or anything, just let me know. These are things I charge on my website, like, you know, 40, 20 bucks for, depending on what it is. And whenever I do these live streams, I'm always willing to do things for gratis, especially people that come in early. So just let me know if you're interested in doing any, like looking at your chart or anything like that. But if you have a question, why don't you hit me? Oh, you do want to know about yours. Okay. All right. Well, you know, your birth information is kind of private information, so I don't want to make anything public. But if you want to, let's see, I guess when I do this on Twitch, there's like a whisper feature, which I don't think there is here. So I think you might have to email me your information if you don't want it public. So if you want to email it to me, you can email me it would have to be your birth date the time of birth, and then your general time region, right? Pacific, or city or state. So if you're interested, email it to me at streetlevelspirituality@gmail.com. Or you can go to my website, StreetLevel.Live, and there's a little chat window. You can just pop it in there. There's if you go to StreetLevel.Live, and on the bottom of the page, there's a little live chat. If you type in your information there, it'll go right to my phone. So just let me know, and it just takes me a couple minutes to dial it all in. Okay, yeah. I mean, if you want to share it publicly, I don't know if you can share it publicly and then erase it. I don't know how you feel about it. I just want to make sure that you're being secure with your information. Okay. March 17th. So yeah, I would just need to know the general, city, state, and then okay, so let's edit the chart data. So I'm going to move this. I want to make this a little bit larger so it doesn't reveal all the information. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what needs to be secure or not, but I would just assume that would be something that people would want to do. Okay, so I want to make that larger. I'm not sure how. Oh, I guess I could just do this window larger here. I'm learning. There's so much technology here. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah. So I need the birthday with the year, and then time, and then city. And then I'll go ahead and edit your chart data. Let's see. Let's go natal chart, and we'll edit your information. Edit chart data for Shelly here. And let's put in Shelly's name, Shelly. And hey, Natalia, how are you? South Korea, very cool. Around 5:40. We're looking at Shelly's birth chart right now, so we're just hanging out, and then in a little bit here, I'm open to doing a reading. It might be about at least 10 minutes or so, because we're going to kind of spend a little time doing this. So feel free to hang out. So let's get your birth time in here. We got 5:45 p.m. Okay, state, country. So we're gonna go South Korea. Let's look it up here. South Korea. There it is, right there. And it says choose a city near where you live. I'm gonna put Seoul. Is that close enough to where you were born? It just needs to be in the same time zone. So I put Seoul, Shelly, and then we put the year. Yeah, we just need the year you were born, and then I'm done. January, February, March 17, and then I'll put the year in as soon as you're ready, and we'll pop it up. 79. Good, that was a good year. Okay, so let's press OK. I think that's it. Now, look at the information on the chart in the upper left-hand corner. Oh my gosh, wow. Wow, we're like opposites. I have okay, so how was yesterday for you? Did you have a Scorpio moon? Were you feeling it? Holy bananas. You have a nice balanced chart. Look at all that information. You got a big cross right through the middle of your chart, don't you? You have a yod to Mercury. Saturn in your 12th house. A lot of responsibility in the spiritual realms and karmic realms. Saturn is going retrograde. Pisces sun. Yeah, I have a Pisces full moon, and I'm a Virgo sun, so it looks like we have kind of complementary stuff there. And then you have a Scorpio moon, which is water, and I have a Pisces rising, so it looks like all our elements are the same, the main elements. Let's see. Yeah, you got a lot of water. You got 7 water in your chart, and 26 degrees Pisces. Let's see where your sun's at. It's in the 7th house, so relationships with other people are a big part of your life. You have the South Node right near your sun in Pisces, so there's some karma there. Mars, your outward energy, is right there also in your relationships with others. So it looks like you might have, karma, past life karma in regards to relationships, maybe romantic relationships. It's interesting, you have half Pisces, half... so you're right at the end of the zodiac there, your sun is. So your sun's at 26 degrees Pisces, and then it ends, and then it starts again in Aries. So your 7th house is kind of half Pisces, half Aries there, which is really interesting because very different energies. You communicate like an Aries, so you're very assertive, but very, very spacey in your true nature as a Piscean. So that's a very interesting combination. Very kind of like outgoing and inward at the same time. You have Jupiter in your house of friendships, so you have a lot of fortune in regards to anything at the 11th house. So let's look up the 11th house here. Got all these windows open here. Gotta move things around here. So a lot of fortune in the 11th house, which would rule anything to do with groups, friendships, social awareness, humanitarianism, technology, hopes and wishes, and the future. That's up there in the 11th house. I don't know if you can see the numbers there. Saturn, yeah, Saturn's going retrograde for the next few months here, so we're gonna have a lot of karma. I hope you've been a good girl. Let's see, you got Pluto in the 2nd house of your resources, so a lot of transformation in probably your finances or your abilities. You have your moon in the 2nd house also. You got Neptune in the house of home. Venus, okay, so you love like an Aquarius, so you love everyone. That's good. You might get a little jealousy there with some partners. You have an opposition. Let's see, what we can do is let's pull up your natal interpretations and look at it. Let's look at let's pull up your interpretations. All right, interpretations, natal interpretations. Okay. All right, Miss Shelley, you have a chart pattern. You have a Yod chart pattern with a focal planet of Mercury, and we'll read this for you. It says, you have a Yod planetary aspect in your chart, also known as the finger of God. This pattern consists of 2 different planets forming inconjunct aspects of 150 degrees to a third or a focal point. Usually there will be a marked emphasis on the area of life represented by this focal point, which may be one planet or 2 or more in conjunction. So for you, it's Mercury, right up there in your 7th house of relationships. So how you communicate and assert yourself in your relationships. With Aries, that's going to be kind of fiery, right? So, balancing that energy there. And then with your South Node being there might be some karma in how you're communicating in your relationships. So just being aware of that is important. And especially because having a Pisces sun, when the souls come into the earth plane, we come with all these planetary energies, right? And some planetary energies are kind of balanced and easygoing, and those are represented by the lines in your chart that are blue and green. So those are either triangular or sextile. They're called trines and sextiles, and those are flowing energies, right? And then the red ones are squares or oppositions, and that's energy that doesn't flow as easy, right? So it's like there's an opportunity for growth, right? So you want to look at the squares and the challenging aspects and say, okay, I got to master this energy, so to say, right? So, for instance, for you, because you have the finger of God in your chart, you want to look at that Mercury and really read about your Mercury in Aries and kind of what the lesson and the energy is there. So let's read about it. Mercury in Aries gives a forceful impetus and impulsive mentality. Witty, inventive, and quick, you take up new ideas with enthusiasm. Your intuition is keen. You tend to be visual or auditory sense. You also become very sensitive when it comes to visual or auditory sense impressions. You may have a tendency to exaggerate or to argue. You have considerable mental energy and a need to assert yourself in your thought processes and your communication with others. It benefits you to learn concentration, for with control, your abundant mental energy is vastly more useful. So that's generally your Mercury in Aries. And then it being specifically in the 7th house of relationships, Mercury in the 7th house represents a strong mental connection to other people. You naturally collect and exchange ideas with those you find yourself in partnership with. You are very interested in what other people think about any given situation in which you find yourself. Intellectual expression is for you a very natural medium of relatedness. This awareness of others' points of view can make it difficult for you to come to a decision. When you learn to detach from your own ideas from those of other people, you can begin to discover the mysterious balancing act of accepting the differences between self and the other. So that's pretty deep, right? Deep stuff. Now, is this too much? Shelley, let me know. I don't want to share all your your strengths and challenges publicly if you're not comfortable with certain stuff. So just let me know. So what I did want to say though is that the sign of Pisces, I have a Pisces full moon, right? Pisces is extremely, intuitive and psychic energy, and so you're very aware of other people, right? So the lesson with mastering the energy of Pisces, right? And this is really important. This changed my life. Is with Pisces, the tide comes in and it goes out, right? So in life, just naturally the way it functions is that we're supposed to have certain relationships come and go. It's just how it is, right? You have a job for a while and it serves you well, and then when it's time to go, it's time to go. In relationships, sometimes they don't always last forever. In romantic relationships, sometimes it's time to come and time to go, right? So the lesson with Pisces to really master the Piscean energy is this, is the shadow side of Pisces is holding on to things, right? So it's this kind of energy that the tide rises, right? And you arrive to a new opportunity, right? Say, imagine you're in a little boat, right? The tide rises and you show up to a shoreline, right? You meet someone, you have a relationship, you have an interaction, and then all of a sudden, intuitively, we get this message that, you know what, this cycle might be up, right? But Pisces can sometimes not really acknowledge that and kind of keep looking towards the land and not the water going out behind them, so to say, right? So the lesson with Pisces is that if they're willing and ready and accepting that life has many different changes, and what the best thing to do is when we can sense that something's kind of releasing, right? And the tide's going back down or the tide's going back out, is that we get back in our boat, we put our sail up, and then as that tide goes out, it pushes us quickly to our next destination, right? So that's kind of the beauty of Pisces. When Pisces is aligned with its true purpose and how it should really function, we can quickly go from one connection to another without all the troubles and the difficulties, of a lot of depression or downtime, so to say, between experiences. But the dark side is that if you're not honoring that energy and you're not honoring when it's time to let go of things and doing it with grace and gratitude, then as the tide goes out, we kind of put our claws into the dirt, so to say. We tear down everything with us as the water's pulling us out. So we destroy our relationships, we destroy all the things that were built. And then the worst part is that we get drug all the way out, so we lose it anyway, right? And then we don't have that momentum that's taking us to our next phase, right? So that's a really important way of looking at Pisces and understanding how Pisces works. So if there's any value in that, we don't want to hold on and kind of, Piscean energy in the shadow side can be kind of a little grouchy with people or kind of a little bitter when things don't work out, right? So with your Mercury right there, I would just be aware that, if you really get that down, as soon as you sense like, you know what, I feel like this relationship is kind of grown, right, to its full potential, and now we've kind of outgrown this, and oh my God, thank you so much. I'm so thankful to have had these experiences with you, and I feel like it's time for me to move forward. Oh my God, thank you so much. What a gift this has been in my life, and I'll always cherish it. Thank you so much. And then we just get in our boat and boom, right off to the next situation, and we're good, right? So the reason I bring it up is I basically try to tell anyone who's a Pisces or has Pisces aspects about this message because it's so important, right? It's really helped me in my life a lot. But with your Mercury and Aries can be such an assertive communicator that if for any reason any of that Piscean energy is off, that Aries energy is going to be really intense. So anyway, so I hope that's helpful in some way or another. Let's look at what other features you have in your chart here. Let's see. You have Neptune in Sagittarius. That's down there in the bottom, near your nadir, which I call the midnight of the chart. Let's see here. Sun in Pisces. It says angular planet conjuncture descendant. Okay, so let's read about your sun sign in the 7th house. The sun in the 7th house represents a concentration of the vital force to relate with others in partnership. You gravitate toward others who serve to reflect your deeper self back to you. You prefer working together with another person rather than strictly on your own. You enjoy developing the exchange of interpersonal expression and joint efforts. You have an intuitive sense of what partnership requires, and strive to become more aware of the inner needs of two people relating with one another on a committed basis. You are very aware of the other as a mirror for your own selfhood. You sense yourself as part of a unit rather than merely an isolated ego. You may keenly feel the need for an intimate partner to flesh out your unconscious areas of self, and you may alternate between losing your sense of self from within relationship to finding your sense of identity and power in that way. You benefit from recognizing that everything you seek in another is really an important part of yourself, and that being involved with others on an interpersonal level is a means of exploring your own basic nature. So, there you go. That's your general tone of your sun sign there. Let's just see if there's anything else here on your chart that I feel like would be helpful. Yeah, let's look at, do you want to look at your Saturn in your 12th house? I mean, Saturn, it's a planet of responsibility. You have that in Virgo, right near your ascendant. So my mother has the same thing. She has Saturn kind of right near her ascendant, and it's kind of a long life of lots of responsibilities, right? So Saturn's always trying to keep us, feeling comfortable in the mundane activities of life, so to say, right? So it's as we're going through the responsibilities and the daily task is that we create our own harmonious environment and make peace with those responsibilities, so to say, right? A lot of karma there. So Saturn 9 degrees Virgo. Let's see. Let's look this up here. Saturn in Virgo. Saturn in the 12th house. It's considered conjuncture ascendant, where your north node is. Let me take a sip of water real quick here. Saturn in the 12th house gives a deepening and concentration or blockage with regard to your connection to spiritual unity with all that is. You have a serious and self-conscious personality. You can be moody and introspective and are likely to be compassionate and sympathetic to others, to the problems of others. You may at times feel that life is too hard or that it is beyond your conscious control. You may experience a sense of imprisonment, either real or imagined. or perhaps a strong sense of guilt, which may be generalized rather than specific. You tend to withdraw from the world, or in some way give up control. Or you may overcompensate by trying too hard to achieve control. Your true path lies in soul-level self-sacrifice rather than in the more mundane life of worldly events. So this is kind of a life of grace, so to say, right? Of affording people grace, right? It's a life of, on a regular basis, kind of looking at people with a smile while they're kind of fucking up or screwing you over, right? And affording them that, it's like paying back. It's a way of finding your own spirituality, in that forgiveness and that grace with others. You possess, in a very concentrated form, the urge for spiritual evolution that is present in all of us, and which actualizes when you can detach from the personal self and surrender to a mystical union with all of life. So, man, if I were you, Shelley, I'd just be hanging out in nature all the time. I've got the Saturn on my second house of resources. My mom's got it right there in her ascendant. It's a life of taking it on, so to say, and you have to have a lot of compassion for yourself, because those tend to be lifetimes of surrendering karma and really letting go and helping other people let go of their karma, and being a real active participant in the surrendering of karma for yourself and others. It's a really beautiful thing. It's a gift to yourself and others to really honor that. Shelley, you know what I'm going to do for you? I usually charge $40 for charts. I'm going to send you your chart if you want it. I'm going to go ahead and let's see. I'm going to save this for you. If you hit me up with your email, if you email me at streetlevelspirituality@gmail.com with your email address, I'll reply to that email and send you your birth chart if you'd like it. So just let me know. I have it here. Again, streetlevelspirituality@gmail. Let's save this in charts here. Make sure it's in the right place. Shelley. Okay, there's your natal interpretations. Let me also get your actual birth chart here. And let's print that too. So I'll save there. So go ahead and just there's like 30 pages of descriptions. It'll show your chart. It'll explain every aspect of your chart. It's on me. That's my love gift. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it. I got 3 other people on. What we just did was we just looked over Shelley's chart just a little bit, just a little brief overview. Lots of great opportunity for growth, and Shelley, thank you for coming to the earth and affording so much grace for yourself and other people, and that's a real commitment to important work there. So again, just hit me up, streetlevelspirituality@gmail.com, and then if you want it, I'll respond to your email with your chart and birth chart. Anyway, if anybody wants a reading, I'm probably only going to be on until about 12:30 maybe. So if anyone wants a reading, just hit me up. We'll get back over to the tarot view. Here we go. We got cards. And I think we've got... Oh, let's turn on our messages. Astro-Tarot. You're welcome, Shelley. Thank you. I really appreciate you supporting me and stopping by, and you've really helped me a lot. Believe it or not, everyone who comes by, it attracts other people. You've really helped me kind of get my... Yes, that is the email for sure. Oh, it's interesting. I can see that so I can see that you typed me on here, but not on the other one. That's weird. Yeah, there's just a little taste, you know, but hopefully that was something. If anybody else would like a reading, I don't know if Natalia, if you're still hanging out, but do that. Happy to give anyone a reading. I'll pull up my email here. Shelley, thank you so much. We're doing complimentary 3-card tarot readings. Ask a question. You can ask about love. You can ask about career, work. You know, you can just ask about your spiritual growth if you're not really sure. Do some shuffling here. It's Friday night. Who wants a reading? Who wants a reading? Shelley, if you still want a reading, let's do it. No one's really looking for a reading right now. I'd love to kind of get the energy moving forward. So if you have a question, Shelley, please feel free to ask, and we'll just give you the VIP treatment tonight. Friday Astro-Tarot party with Shelley. And our Edgar Casey card for the evening. Oh, thank you, Shelley. That's really kind of you. I really appreciate it. Yeah, no big deal at all. No pressure. I really appreciate that. Every little bit helps. I'm trying to figure out how to go from, you know, I've worked for like really big companies doing like marketing and branding, and all of a sudden it's like I'm like scared to tell people that I do astrology and tarot. It's like you know, I'm just, you know, some people are judgmental about that kind of stuff, you know. So that's really thoughtful of you. I really appreciate it, Shelley. If you want a reading, hit me up. Let's do it. Yeah, hit me up with a question, and I got time, so let's do it. There's our Edgar Casey card for the evening. I'm about to start my monthly videos for June, and this is what I do live, but I also have a whole series called Hanging With on my website and on YouTube, where I go through each sign, and I'm trying to make them more fun. So I'm going to do like an astro weather thing, and probably get out in nature and do some shooting soon. Really cool. That's really kind of you, Shelley. I really appreciate it. Let me check. If you sent me an email, I can send it over to you. Or just when you're ready. Let's see here. Oh my gosh, Shelley. Wow, that is just overly generous of you. Thank you so much. Wow, that's really, I'm blown away. That's really thoughtful of you. Thank you. That actually makes me want to cry. Anyway, Shelley, thank you. I just wanted to say bless you for that. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Very, very kind of you. Jesus. About your career. Okay. Let's see what's going on with Shelley's career. With the cards doing the spiritual cards, the readings for spiritual growth. You know what happens is, what I've noticed when I do these is people ask questions, right? And then they're like, "Oh, when am I going to get this?" Or "When is this going to happen?" Or something like that. And the cards are always exactly the same way. They're like, "This is what's going to help you through this energy," right? So if there's any blockages, anything you're not seeing, anything that's not clear. So I It's just interesting. It's just interesting how the readings work. That's just the way I read. It's weird. I some people can do it differently, but it's like all spiritual growth. So it's not very fun, I guess, for some people, right? But I guess if you're into the growth, right, and you want to do the work, then it's helpful, right? Let's get to the tarot view. We're going to give Shelly a full Celtic cross reading about her career and just kind of tune into the energy a little bit. Thank you so much. Wow. Really appreciate it. Okay. Really. Let's see here. And then, yeah, just hit me up with that email when you have a chance, and I can send it over to you anytime. If you want to do it right now, send me an email. I swear I can shuffle. All right, let me just tune in here a little bit. Let's tune in. I like how the music's like mellowing out. Shelly. Shelly. Okay, let's go down. What's going on? What's going on with Shelly? Alright, so I gotta close some windows here. I've got like 27,000 things open here. Career. Alright, tuning in. Okay, here we go. Well, I'm kind of surprised. I thought Friday night, I thought everyone would be wanting to hang out, considering no one's doing anything. But maybe people are doing things. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one staying home by myself. I don't know. All right, so okay, let's just do one more. And Shelly, ahead of time, why don't you go ahead and let me know if you'd like pile number 1, 2, or 3, and choose your own adventure here. Okay, so we'll go pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. Your destination, your destiny, your choice. Shelly, which direction would you like to take it? Un, do, or tre? Career. Career for Shelly. Got about a 20-second delay here, so if I'm quiet for a long time after you respond, that's why. Un, do, or tre for Shelly. Seems to be working. Un. All right, let's see what the cards are saying here. Okay, we'll get all the cards out, and then we'll see what's going on. All right, well, something's going to be getting better. We can definitely tell you that much. Let's turn off this. Let's see a little more here. Leave this one on here. Nope, this one. There we go. Okay, so coming in from the cold. And let's see what's influencing this. Something's getting better. Okay, something masculine side. Okay, the spiritual realms. Okay. We have the 2 of Swords in reverse. The past. A little mental confusion there. Okay, what's motivating you? Well, you're ready to move forward. You got the vital forces all around you. What's coming up is an opportunity, so you'll have to be aware of it and kind of see what's going on here. Yeah, I think your environment, coming out of addiction, your greatest hopes and greatest fears is about making this happen. Fast forward movement. I mean, there you go. There's a reading for career right here. Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, you are. I mean, thank you so much. And by the way, that was no small donation. That was very generous of you. Thank you. I'm blown away. I've been working really hard at this for a couple of months trying to get this thing going. So it really just blew me away. Thank you so much. You are getting a private reading from me. I do Zoom readings. So I guess we're just doing it publicly. But yeah, we're giving you a private reading. Okay, so let's just tune in here. Okay. I want to spend some time here to really tune in and see the synergy between all these cards, okay? So the nature of the reading is the Five of Pentacles in reverse. The Five of Pentacles in reverse is, obviously in the upright position, it's these people kind of like stuck out in the cold, right? So everyone's inside the warm church, and this guy's got crutches, and this other lady doesn't have the right clothes on or shoes on. They're cold. Their needs aren't being met, right? And they're not being looked out for, right? So in the reverse position, it's kind of like coming out of the cold. It's recovering from financial loss or spiritual poverty, right? So it's what's really important to learn about resources. It's just like the second house, right? The second house is about money, work, income, daily routines. So resources are all the above, right? So it's money, work, income, daily routines, values. So your values are part of your resources, your material possessions, but so are your priorities and your habits and your job and your work ethic. Those are all resources, right? So they're all intertwined. So the priorities that you make yourself, the habits you have, they're all karmatically, and the values you have are all karmatically connected, right, with your money and your resources, right? So it's really important to see it that way. So the Five of Pentacles in reverse, like I said, it's recovering from some sort of financial loss or spiritual poverty. So the point I'm trying to make is that it's not always money, right? It's like our values. You're recovering from the way you view things, right? You're recovering from, habits. You're recovering from, making your priorities balanced and your values, right? So I always say, if you want character and you want consistency, you have to have values written down that you live on a daily basis, right? It gives your ego a sense of identity, right? And it creates consistency in your behavior with other people. So you might have heard me talking about that the other day. But that's super important. It's a real big part of identity. I do brand development, and that's a big part of the process. So you're learning about habits and values, and then also kind of coming in from some sort of, quite possibly, an actual literal material recovery. What's influencing this recovery or this movement out of that poverty? It's kind of like, it's literal, but sometimes it's consciousness also, right? So you're ready to really dial it in, so to say, for yourself, right? You've had the lessons in the past, you're over it, you're ready to dial it in. The King of Cups in reverse, the King of Cups upright is this is the masculine energy who's super in touch with his intuition, right? He's super dialed in, he's balanced, he's full of control and generosity. So what's influencing this, and again in the upside down position here, and this kind of coming out of the cold in this new direction for you in regards to your resources, is this energy, right? And it's some sort of volatility, and this can also symbolize some sort of like emotional manipulation. So I'm just sensing that whoever this is, or whatever this is, or whatever this symbolizes for you, is you had a kind of an experience that left a bad taste in your mouth. I don't know if it's directly with the person, if this is your last boss, for instance, or this just represents this kind of energy you're sick of being around. You know what I mean? Or this pattern in your career that you've experienced. Or you found yourself in volatile situations in general with career. Like, for instance, I have Jupiter in the 10th house, and I'm very, very assertive in my career space. Like, I feel very confident with what I do, right? And it creates, like, people can get real intense with me, because anyone who has any, like, questions about their own personal value, like I just burn them out. Like, I don't, to be honest with you, like, I don't work well with other people. You know, I'm kind of an independent guy, you know, and, you know, it's really been hard for me sometimes. You know, it's really made me question my value, and created volatile situations, you know. I mean, like, I had my last supervisor, the last time I actually worked for someone, I told her she wasn't qualified to tell me what to do. And it wasn't even emotional. It was true. It was like skills. I mean, it was just bad. So anyway, you know, you with that Mercury in Aries, you know, the way that you articulate yourself and communicate yourself could probably be intense if it's not in balance, right? So let me, I'm going to pull up your chart again, actually. Let's look at your 10th house and see what's going on here. Let's see here. I just have to, like, where everything is. It's, like, all over the place. Okay, here we go. We have Shelly here. So let's look at your chart here. Okay. So, you don't have anything specifically in your 10th house. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so, but in your house, your second house of resources is Pluto. So a lot of transformation and emotionality within your resources. So it's going to mean it's balancing your emotions in regards to your resources. Your work environment is going to be extremely transformative because of Pluto. In regards to your own resources. So I think a lot of work for you it's just about setting up your values and your characters, you know, your value systems and your character, and living consistent values no matter what you're doing, and then learning how to sort out your emotions in regards to your finances. I don't know if Pluto there is, so you're into fairness and balance with your resources. With Pluto, so you're really transforming people with resources. Interesting, really interesting. I mean, you'd be a financial planner, really. Actually, to be honest with you, you'd probably be a really powerful financial person to help people get their act together in regards to their resources, because you have the Moon there, which is very intuitive, right? So you could kind of really see into people and how they manage their resources, and then Pluto would basically, in Libra, is adamant about fairness, right? And Pluto being transformative, you know, you'd be very, you know, anything in helping people balance their values or resources would be a hot topic for you within career. Just among many other things, I'm sure, but. And then you have Chiron in other people's resources, so there may be some karma or wounds in navigating that. And then you have the 12th house. Yeah, you might have a past life with some sort of issues with institutions or institutionalization. I don't want to get too far into that, but there might be some stuff there. Taurus, and then so then you have Uranus activating your Chiron right now, because Uranus is probably right up on it right now, about 5 to 6 degrees Taurus, which is where your Chiron is. So Uranus is the planet of sudden changes. It has to do with this COVID thing. It has to do with financial markets. The last time it was in Uranus was during the Great Depression. And that's right on top of your Chiron, which is the wounded healer. So it's the person who's wounded. In your case, it's in regards to other people's material possessions. And taking that and transforming that and turning that into a narrative or something that is helpful for other people. So you go through your own dark night of the soul in regards to other people's material possessions, right? And how you manage them and how you've responded to them and how people have responded to you in regards to their resources. Whatever wounds you have there, I don't know if you had a lot of money or were in relations with people with money or managed people's money, but there's some wound, whether it's past life or this life, that needs to be resolved around Taurus, which can be pretty heavy with material stuff. Excuse me. I'm getting all over the place. Cools, man, needs help. I'm more than happy to give you a reading. And once you formulate a question, if you know your sun sign and moon sign, I'm giving Shelly a reading right now about her career. So anyway, I'm getting way deep into your chart, Shelly. But you have a lot of energy around your resources and other people's resources. So I would really definitely read your chart in depth and really look at your second house, Pluto, the moon, and your 8th house with Chiron and your part of fortune up there. There's an access between your second and 8th house where there's some lessons. There's some real opportunity for growth there. You fought off your happiness. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, we were just talking about that. Yeah, so think about your question and give me your astrology sign and stuff like that. So Shelly, I'm just getting I can get really deep into this stuff. So just kind of tuning into your vibe a little bit here and trying to see what's going on. So you're coming out, there's some, I get the feeling it's just, you just had a grindy situation in the past with your work environment that just wasn't working for you. And your message from the spiritual realms or from the angelic realms, which is kind of, I always say, will kind of help lubricate this situation, so to say, is the 9 of Wands. And as you can tell, this person's kind of on guard here. So, I kind of get the feeling here that, this message is for you to kind of protect yourself a little bit, and this is out there in the world. The wands are, the vital resources of the planet. It's the life force manifest in the material world. So, this is, you probably feel a little bit, the message is probably saying that you feel a little bit weary from these experiences, but to be resilient, right? Stand guard, but don't burn yourself out. But yeah, be aware. I mean, I have a feeling there's some energy around you that's not necessarily, or I don't know if it's just in the past, but it hasn't been good. You haven't been really honored in your career environment. In the recent past, you have the 2 of Swords in reverse. Swords are the mind, right? And they've got the moon there, right? So the 2 of Swords is mental balance, right? So when you have this in reverse, it can be a sense of indecision regarding career, feeling confused, or just kind of information overload, right? You're overwhelmed with too much information. You're not sure what to do. This is in the past. So, I think that, especially with your moon right down there in your second house of resources, there's a lot of emotionality around your career, your resources. And so in the past, I think you've just been, there's a certain level that people can take emotionally before it's just all confusing, right? You can stack 1 thing, 2 things, and you can't sort them out. It just gets really confusing. I think you have a deep, visceral, emotional reaction to your own personal resources and career because of this kind of shit. And I say this kind of shit because there's something in the past. There's some Chiron wound. There's a wound with other people and their resources, right? So whoever this is, they hurt you. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's karma in the past life or this life, but there's some energy. It's like an energy. It's like a being bound, right, to a painful experience, right? So it feels confusing, right? You're just like, I don't know how to get clear. I feel like I can't escape this confusion, so that's in the past. Now the subconscious card here, the Ace of Wands, this is why, or what's truly motivating you in this situation, right? Hey, Fatima? I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time. Yeah, hey, Saucy, how you doing? Yeah, see, this is what always happens. It picks up really quick. Anyway, so yeah, we'll get to everyone here. Shelly was really generous and gave me a donation here, so I'm giving her a full Celtic Cross reading. We'll be done in a little bit, and then we'll get right on it. If you want to type in, if it's still working, I'm not sure if the queue's working, but if you want to type in the order that you guys came in, type in !join, which, Fatima did. So if anyone else did, she's next in line. If anyone else was here before her or wants to get in the queue, type in !join, all one word, and really in lowercase. So type that in, we'll get you in the queue. So anyways, this is what's motivating you subconsciously, whether you're aware of it or not. Like, what is this that you want to do? Why are you wanting to move forward in your career? What is this new energy moving forward? And what it is the Ace of Wands. I mean, it's wonderful. That means you have really pure intention, and you really want to tap your full potential. You don't feel like you've tapped your full potential. And so you feel really inspired, right? Inspiration. I always say, people say you can't buy me love. I say you can't buy me inspiration. It's priceless. That's the gold of the spiritual realms of the spiritual life. It's inspiration, right? So you have the inspiration, whether you are aware of it or not. Subconsciously, this is the energy that actually generates your reality, is your subconscious, right? So you have the power. You know you can create. You're ready for a new beginning, and you know that you've got potential here. Okay, so that's wonderful. That means, and see, that's the energy. They always talk about law of attraction, right? Well, that's the energy that's actually going to move you forward, is your subconscious. It's not sitting around saying, I want an SUV, I want an SUV. It's that subconscious drive that really believes something. So, you've got all the power you need to manifest what you need to do. Now, coming up in your near future, you have the Four of Cups, and this fellow is staring at the Three Cups, but there's this fourth one being presented from the spiritual realms. So it's really up to you to see the opportunity, right? Or it's suggested that it's an opportunity that may come up that you might miss, right? So be aware that opportunities come in different forms and shapes. So whatever this career opportunity is, it's coming right up for you. So this is wonderful. I mean, this is the cup of receiving new opportunity, right? Again, it may not come in the form that you're expecting. So even in strange circumstances that you wouldn't usually associate with career opportunities or connections. I mean, for instance, like you could be at a barbecue, right? And then all of a sudden you meet someone and they're, you got some career connection also. So just keep your eyes open, so to say, right? You have in your attitude regarding this situation, and this is really important because your subconscious is saying, I know I have the power. I'm totally capable of doing all this. But you have the Queen of Wands in reverse in your attitude about the situation. Now, the Queen of Wands in reverse is, Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles in reverse, it's kind of like an imbalance between work and family commitment. So it's just balancing the 4th and the 10th house in your astrology. So it's just make time for work, make time for home, crystal clear, black and white, make it really clear. In your environment, this is what's around you. This isn't you, right? So this is the Devil in reverse. The Devil in reverse is a certain level of detachment or breaking free or reclaiming your power. So I feel like you really are working through this karma, this unknown, energetic, emotional crap stuff here that you have, like with your Scorpio moon in your second house. With this past experience, whether it's this lifetime or previous lifetime, it's this subconscious funk, right, that you're working through in regards to your resources, right? So you're moving away from that. You have the environment around you is helping you kind of flow out of that. Your greatest hopes and greatest fears is the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is fast forward movement, especially mentally, right? So you're able to mentally really conquer this situation, and you want to feel capable that you're able to do this, and you are capable because subconsciously you have the Ace of Wands and you know it. So just don't get caught up in your head, right? Don't get caught up in worries. You have it, move forward, right? And then, as an outcome, this is really wonderful. You have the Eight of Wands, which is fast forward movement, right? So, I mean, you can't get any better than this in regards to, am I going to get something, right? This is the card of getting something and moving forward. So, for you, Shelly, I think that, it's really as simple as, doing your homework on your chart. Email me, I'll send you your chart. Do your homework, read about the stuff in your second house, your Pluto and your moon, And then keep your eyes open for opportunities, right? And really like sort out emotionality versus reality in regards to your resources, right? Not getting wrapped up in other people's money, so to say. Don't get wrapped up in other people's power and money. You have all the tools to do it. See, this is you, Shelly. You don't need it from someone else, right? So keep your eyes open. I just read the cards the way I see it. I hope that means something for you. Cool Mans, I don't do possessions. I don't do. I mean, if you're having a mental breakdown, I'm not a counselor, but I'm happy to give you a reading if that helps you. I can't save you. Demons, in my opinion, I've been through this whole thing. It's just learning how to tune your frequency. It's not necessarily that there's really demons. It's just where we focus our minds, and a lot of times we have subconscious energy that's unresolved, and we have to just feel those feelings as they move through our body and out, right? It's like an addiction, right? You see somebody who's coming off detox and there's like shaking in bed, it goes away. You go through the sweats, blah, blah, blah. So don't worry about it. You're not possessed. What you need to do is you need to put on some Bach or some music that lifts and is more spirited, and you need to use things like flower essences and spray them on your body. They affect your etheric field and heal you. So I'm actually very versed in this stuff. So you got to tune your frequency, and the first thing you should do is put some music on. You can get a little herb of rue. You could wear black tourmaline. You need something to just tune your frequency and to make your mind focus on something else. If I were you, the first thing I would do is put on some great uplifting spirited music and put on some comedy. So that's my recommendation for you, and go get a massage. So anyway, Shelly, I hope that was helpful for you. I'm going to get through a couple readings here. I really appreciate your spirit, Shelly, and I appreciate your energy and investing in my dreams here. So thank you very much, Shelly. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. God bless you, Shelly. Thank you so much. It really means a lot to me. Thank you. Again, just make sure you email me. I'll send you that chart. You want to look at your Pluto and your Moon and your 8th house. My throat's a little dry here. Okay, so I'm going to go right off the queue here. Who I have in the queue is I have Fatima and I have Saucy. So I'm going to go in that order unless you guys are in agreement that somebody was there first or anything like that. Everyone cool with that? Okay, is it Fatima? Fatima? I'm sorry, I'm just not good with this. Oh, thank you, Shelly. God bless you. I'll send you your chart as soon as you email me. Let's see, did you already email me? Oh, okay, there you are. Okay, so I'm going to send it to you right now because I know you probably want to read it. So, guys, just hold on a quick second. I'm just going to email Miss Shelly here. And you're done. There you go, Shelly. It's all for you. Enjoy. Thank you so much for the donation. It means a lot. Okay, so Fatima, what's your question, dear? Are you having relationship stuff? What's the? I'm just scrolling back here to see if you already asked a question. Okay, Fatima. Oh, I'm feeling sick and emotional as hell today. I wish I could get some insight. Yeah, it's the full moon in Scorpio, and then also we have a lot of planets going retrograde. So we're shedding a lot of funky stuff, so to say, right? And we're moving in a whole new direction. So as we kind of come apart, we don't have those things to rely on that we're kind of used to, like being our crutches. And it's just these temporary moments of suspension, so to say. And it's just a good time to be grounded. So I'm going to just tune in for you. This is tarot for spiritual growth. Are you open to that? It's not tarot to tell you what you want to hear, so to say, right? The cards are specifically for what's going to be the best and most insightful for your spiritual growth and what's most equal and fair for everyone involved. Are you open to that? Well, today I was feeling super emotional concerning my interested person. Okay. Was he feeling something for me too? His name is Muhammad. We're both Scorpios. Well, I mean, that's interesting. You're both Scorpios. It's a full moon in Scorpio. Of course you're going to be charged up. You know, I always say, you know, when it's full moons are out, you know, hit the deck. I hide. I just hide. Okay, Fatima, I'm just going back and just seeing. Okay, so your question, just to be clear, is you want some insight because you're feeling sick and uncomfortable regarding the relationship, or in general? If you could just let me know if it's general or the relationship, or both. Okay, so here we go. Okay, and then Fatima, will you pick also on the deck? Will you pick? I was feeling good yesterday, like just when this moon is ending in Scorpio, it's getting intense on me. Yeah, it's relationship. Okay, all right. Let me just tune in here for a second. I'm sorry you're going through that. Yeah, I mean the best thing I can say is, you know, we always need to stay focused on the somatic self, right? Keeping ourselves grounded, not being too mental, recognizing that everything's temporal in the material world. Our soul and our consciousness is eternal, and so everything's a gift, and that way we don't get too wrapped up in being too attached to things or outcomes. Finding peace with what we do have, not what we don't, and creating that foundation so we have that peace and harmony every day. It's not compromised. Okay, so let's tune into what's going on here. I'm just going to read the cards exactly the way I see them. Hopefully there's some benefit in it for you. Sometimes it's literal, physical, and sometimes it's symbolic and internal. Okay, so let's just tune in here and see what's going on. Now, I do 3-card readings, complimentary, so we're just going to do a 3-card reading. If you do want a full reading, any donation amount will get you a 10-card reading. But let's see what we can get for you as far as a general theme here, okay? Okay, so let's see. Hey, Lavender Seas, how are you? Welcome back. Welcome back. If you want to join the queue, Lavender, just type in !join. My robot's actually cooperating today, which is wonderful. All right, so I'll make sure the cards are okay. So, Fatima, would you like 1, 2, or 3? Maybe you already answered that. Let's see. Okay, wonderful. Yeah, just so type in !join, all lowercase, and it'll put you in the queue. And then I'll get to you right after the 2 readings here. Thank you for stopping by. Fatima, do you could you pick deck 1, 2, or 3? I'm sorry, there's a delay, so you probably maybe already answered that. Oh, there you go. Perfect. Let's just double check you got in there. Everything should be working good. Oh my god, everything works. Okay, so we're gonna trash that. Okay, well it didn't show up yet, but we know you're next. Okay, so number 1. Okay, all right, let's see what we got going here. We're gonna do a 3-card reading for Fatima. Let's see what's going on. What the hell's going on? Okay, well, you're looking into the future. I can tell you that much. You're trying to see what opportunities and possibilities are coming up for you. You're not sure. You're kind of evaluating and looking to see what's out there. You're not sure, so you're not really moving forward. 3 of Wands. Excuse me. 3 of Wands is about preparation, having foresight. This could be somebody looking to get into business, and just looking at your potential as a person. So we're kind of looking at this 2 ways. We're kind of looking at, okay, you're just struggling in general and maybe not seeing something clearly and just feeling a little anxious. So this is about kind of stepping out of the emotionality of the situation and looking at it from a very practical situation. Now, this is really difficult for people often because we can get so attached to wanting things to be a certain way, we don't afford this opportunity to ourselves, and so we continue to kind of enter situations that we later regret, right? So just a little bit of foresight, right? A little bit of preparation and planning can go a long way, right? In making sure that if we're going to enter a relationship with somebody, that it's like, for instance, they share our same values, right? Or, you know, if you know that you hate pineapple, you just can't tolerate somebody who eats pineapple pizza, that you're not going to get in a relationship with somebody who orders pineapple pizza, so to say, right? So, I mean, I'm using that as a silly way to look at it. But, you know, values don't change hardly. And when people don't have the same values, why would you be foolish enough to invest in that, you know? So this is the foresight and the pre-planning to, you know, I would say at the nature of the reading in a 3-card reading here, this is basically like you're going to have less anxiety if you take more time to consider what you're doing before you do it, right? So, you know, whether that's relationships or whether that's someone else. So anxiety, what anxiety is, it's letting us know, you know, depression, you know, you could say in a lot of cases, not all cases, but in a lot of cases is biologically induced meditation, right? And what that means is that it's your body just saying you need to slow down, you need to listen. You're not listening, right? So this is somebody, this is your archetype, okay? This is somebody who's taking the time to have the foresight before they move forward and anything, right? You know, is this dude, you know, am I putting the fantasy on it, or, you know, or is this dude the real deal? You know what I mean? Am I creating some story that's real, or, you know, am I creating a story that is going to later bite me in the ass, so to say, right? Okay, so this is your current situation, this is your upcoming situation, this is your recent past, okay? So the Ace of Cups in reverse is there's some sort of blocked or repressed emotions, right? So what I'm getting, this is a tough journey, you know, and sorry, 3-card readings are, I can't give you the super in-depth here, but I can try to give you the best I can see here, okay? Is blocked emotions is an unwillingness to accept things for what they really are, right? And it's an intense message, right? It's a big message, right? And when we see things for what they are, often we're not as cool as we thought we were, right? We're not as amazing as we would hope we would be and all that stuff. But yet at the same time, we recognize also the opposite. We realize how awesome we really are in the ways that we really are awesome, right? Not the ways we've kind of created in our mind, right? So blocked emotions is basically just an unwillingness to allow things to be what they really actually are, right? So I went through this process a number of years ago. I went through my dark night of the soul about 4 or 5 years ago. And I realized I wasn't as talented as I thought I was at certain things. I realized I actually wasn't kind of a cool person. I didn't want to be a cool person anymore. You know, I was living this act and dressing the part and all this stuff. And it was just fucking exhausting, right? So, and then I was also continually disappointed and let down because I was trying to force this reality that really wasn't real, right? So it's like when you really have that foresight and you take that time to yourself, right? To really, you know, have the courage to allow things to be as ugly as they are, right? Then you integrate that ugliness and you're like, oh, this isn't so bad. And then all you see is the beauty, right? Whereas if we're emotionally blocked, you know, we're trying to uphold this illusion. And then that ends up creating the anxiety, right? So anyway, I hope that's, yeah. So, you know, whether this is for you, you know, our partnerships are reflections, right? So, you know, whether this is for you, you know, in your own journey of anxiety in some way, there's blockages to look at. And like I said, partners are mirrors. So how this plays into you and him, you know, these are just themes for you to take. These are stories from the major arcana and the narrative of the hero's journey. And you can see where these play in, right? So, and then what's really nice is, you know, I think you've done the work. I think that with the Hermit in reverse is like, hey, you've been hanging out by yourself, you've been really reflecting on yourself, and you've seen what it's going to take to grow, and you're ready to move forward, right? So this is someone who's contemplating moving forward, and this is someone who's ready to move forward, right? So I really feel like these emotional blockages are going to be coming out of the way. But again, in regards to your anxiety, don't get into anything without first examining it very clearly and honestly, and knowing that if we have some fantasy of how we want things to be, we can create that. It just takes time and patience, right? So have faith in the process and have faith in yourself. I'm going to pull one more card for you in regards to the relationship. So there you go, new inspiration. Okay, that's a positive card for your relationship with Muhammad. Look for new inspiration. This little fish popping out. This is like something out of nowhere. It's a little gift from spirit to start a new journey, right? So really take the time to reflect on your situation. Don't jump into anything prematurely. Really look at the emotional body. And, you know, my spiritual teacher said, you know, a lot of times what we do is we fight off anxiety and shadow as though we're conquering something, right? So we exude all this, we use all this energy, right, to somehow try to conquer these fears and these uncomfortable feelings. And he said what's better to do is to kind of like, it's like when the sun goes down, it gets dark, right? It feels uncomfortable. It's just to light a little fire and sit by it. Keep yourself warm, keep yourself humble, and allow the shadows to kind of creep in collectively, knowing that you have that light and that warmth to get you through till when the sun rises again. So I hope that symbology helps you. You know, we don't know what's going on here on this planet all the time, and so we can feel ashamed and we can feel concerned, right? But faith is about faith is about giving yourself peace, right? So ultimately what it boils down to is not how faithful am I, or do I believe this crazy religious story or not. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with, do you want peace and do you deserve peace? And if you do, then you have faith. Okay? So find that faith. Don't be scared of the emotions. Don't be scared of the feelings. Allow yourself to cry. Allow yourself to have or not have, and make peace with that. And, you know, you have this really beautiful energy with Muhammad of this new inspiration, this new idea coming. So I would say that's a positive reading for you, okay? I hope that's helpful for you on some level, Fatima. Just walk into the feelings, you know, walk into them. It's okay. It's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. Okay? All right, sending lots of love. I always appreciate a subscribe or anything like that. It always helps. Thank you so much. Let's look at the queue. We had a few people here. It looks like not everyone wanted to hang out, so maybe we can get through. Okay, so we got Saucy X Saucy. Saucy, you still here? We got Saucy in the house. Oh, absolutely. I mean, do you have any questions about time frames or anything like that? I can pull a card for you, Fatima, about time frames on anything like that. So if you're not feeling clear. But the most important thing is this, is, you know, I mean, Fatima, I'll tell you right now, I've been through the darkness, man. I've stared at the, thank you very much. I've stared in the dark. It's a void. There's nothing there. It's just a total, hey, Lavender, how are you? So I have Saucy next on the list. If Saucy's still here, I'm going to give Saucy about 30 seconds. And if Saucy's not here, then it is, oh, there's Saucy. So Saucy, I don't know if you asked the question already. If you did, I can scroll back here and try to see here. Let's see, what did Saucy say? I think you did ask the question. Let's see. I think Saucy's like got a good attitude. I'm really seeing like you're kind of on it right now. Saucy joined. I don't see a question yet. Maybe I missed one. Yeah. Hey, Saucy, how are you? What's going on? How are you doing? Oh, you're just staring at this blank screen when you guys have this wonderful opportunity to see my beautiful mug. All super tired, but I'm doing good. That's what I'm doing. I'm hanging out. Look at these blue lights. How you guys doing? I don't know about this camera. It's off on the side, and I look over here a lot. I have like charts up, all sorts of diagrams and stuff like that I reference for astrology and stuff, and I feel like I'm kind of like over here and I should be over here, right? I'll work on it. I have this big monitor right here, so I can't, I mean, unless I cut a hole in the monitor, and I don't know, figure it out. What does my future hold? I'm actually not a fortune teller per se. I do readings for spiritual growth. Whatever I do. I have no idea how it works, but it tends to always be kind of like what's actually happening behind the scenes, or what's the truth to the situation, so to say. And what can you do that is going to kind of lubricate the situation to get you out of the ruts, so to say. So are you open to that, Saucy? What we can do to kind of spice this doggy up, so to say. Okay, I'm gonna tune in here. How's the music, guys? Is it too loud? I can't listen to it I can't listen to the mix with the audio with my voice while I'm doing this, or it like feeds back, or delays, sorry. So if it's, let me know if it's, you can hear me well and all that stuff. I just made this whole new mix today. 47 minutes of jams, background jams. I was trying to make something kind of like chill, you know? Okay, cool, awesome. Okay, so Saucy, ahead of time, because I have a delay here, is pick pile 1, 2, or 3. I'm going to shuffle, and I'm going to do 1, 2, or 3. I've learned to ask early, because there's like a 20, 30 second delay. Then I'm not just sitting here with dead time, you know? How are you guys doing? Friday night? Well, it was Friday night. Now it's Saturday morning. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for your patience. All right, Lavender. I think we lost our our demon-possessed friend, Coolsmans, unless he's still here. So if Coolsmans is not here, I will get to you, Lavender. You'd be next after this. Sometimes I don't know if people are joking, you know? He's like, oh, I think I'm possessed by demons, you know? It's like, is it a troll? Are they playing? I have no idea, you know? I mean, is he really... I mean, it's like, that's a lot to throw on someone, right? You know, like, hey, random tarot reader on YouTube, I'm possessed by demons, help me now. You know, it's a lot, you know? All right? Thank you for not being so demanding of me, Saucy. I appreciate it. All right, so we got Lavender, and we've got Saucy. I don't know if the team is still hanging out, but thanks, guys, for hanging out with me. Oh, I'm thirsty. I was talking. I don't really realize how much it takes out of me. So I'm like, talk, blah, 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 blah. Okay, Saucy. What does your future hold? What's going on with your spiritual growth? Now, I don't know you at all. I'm going to pull out the cards. I'm going to read them the way I see them. I do a three card reading complimentary. Any donation amount will get you a full 10-card spread. No pressure. It's all good. I always appreciate a subscribe. Trying to get my whole thing going here. You understand, right? Anyway, so you said 3, right? So let's go like this. Let's go like this. You said 3, so we'll stack them back up. That is third of the piles. And I just realized that you didn't see any of it because I didn't have it on the right camera. So this is the Magic Velvet reading area. Okay, you have the Fool in reverse as your current situation or the nature of the reading. You have the Wheel of Fortune in the recent past. That means you've gone through some significant change that will never go back to being the same. In the upcoming future, you're coming out of mental anguish. There's been some sort of mental anguish that you're liberating yourself from, which is fantastic. Now, the Fool is the first card in the Higher Arcana. It symbolizes the soul making the choice to want to come down to the material realm and have an experience here. It's the Fool because the spirit is eternal, and he wants to roll down and be like, yeah, that would be so fun, right? And then by the time he's done, he's like, why the hell did I do that? That was a bad idea. So he's, got the sun on his back. He's got his little pack full of all his resources. He's got this innocence and purity of this little flower. And he's about to walk off the side of a cliff. And there's a little dog barking, saying, hey, you're on Earth, dude. Get your shit together. So the Fool in reverse can be a little bit reckless, a little bit naive or foolish or risk-taking in regards to a situation. So I would just say that, with Saturn going retrograde here, not a time to be too self-assured about anything, right? It's a great time to kind of chill back and kick back. Hippie Love. Hey, would love a complimentary 3-card reading. Thanks in advance for your time and energy. I do appreciate that. Thank you for stopping by. When you guys stop by and it supports me and helps me get my thing out there, and a little subscriber donation always helps. Thank you so much. Hippie, if you would like to join the reading queue, please type in !join, all lowercase, one word, and it'll add you to the reading queue. And it was working earlier, and I don't know, this technology stuff. I'm trying so hard. It's a lot. Yeah, it looks like, I don't know if it's working. We'll see. We did Fatima, and then we're at Saucy Sexy. Okay, so let's go. Sexy, does that show up in the... Yeah, it's not showing up. I don't know. It did work, but now it's not working. Anyway, we'll get Hippie up after Lavender. So some sort of naivety. There's something in the past that you just recently went through that forever changed you. There was a life-changing experience. Now you're kind of floating a little bit. I don't know if you need like guidance. I don't know if you need like a teacher. I don't know if you need... Oh, there we go. Cool. Yay. It's working. The robots are working. I do feel like I always take risks. Yeah, so I can see, basically what it's saying is don't lose that. I mean, that's a part, it's like innocence, right? We don't want to lose our innocence, right? But we do want to cultivate wisdom, right? And we cultivate wisdom by observing situations kind of from afar and taking the time to assess things, right? So if we're constantly on the go, or we're not taking that time to reflect or meditate and kind of, it's kind of like a video game, right? You're like running around in the video game, but then there's like that view sometimes where you can like go third person, right? And you can move the camera around, you can see yourself and you can see other people. That's the kind of view that we need to take with our lives on a regular basis, right? So we're not kind of just having that kind of soul view. Now, Saucy, are you what's your sun sign? Or what's your ascendant sign? Or moon sign? Do you know any of your signs? Now, what I was going to say is that, it's really important right now, with Saturn going retrograde, to not be too self-assured, out there in the world right now. It's harvesting karma right now. And so depending on our behaviors and our choices we've made since the last time Saturn went retrograde, we're going to be basically getting our return, so to say, of that. Oh, you're a Sag. Okay, so we have the. I think here. Let me look at my chart here. Sag. Yeah. So there's tons of Gemini energy, right? And then also the nodes, the North Node and the Lunar Node, are shifting axis, and that's karma for sure, right? And it's going from Cancer Capricorn to Gemini Sagittarius. So if you're a Sagittarius. And then we have Venus going retrograde in Gemini. Like, for instance, the next month and a half, you don't want to make any long-term commitments with friendships or relationships, especially if you're opposing it in Sagittarius. You could find yourself having people come from the past. You could find yourself in situations where something sounds really exciting and new, but you don't necessarily want to jump into it because you're not going to feel the same way when Venus goes direct. You know what I mean? And then we have Saturn going retrograde also. It's just like... Ooh, it's a tough time, especially if you're opposing all this energy in Sagittarius. So just be really mindful over the next so many months. It's the next 6 weeks for Venus retrograde. And then we have Saturn, I think it's till the end of September, right? Where we're kind of like pulling our karma back, right? So you really want to chill back and not move forward quickly into anything, right? Sagittarius Sun, Scorpio rising. Yeah, so we just had our Scorpio full moon. Virgo moon. Man, you must annihilate people in arguments. Have a Virgo moon. Yeah, you're able. Yeah, my son has a Virgo moon. Really amazing ability to be able to understand what's actually happening in situations. You're a very fun person, Sagittarius. Scorpio ascendant. Yeah, you're a really fun person. I mean, those are all like super dangerous signs. Sag, Scorpio, and Virgo. Like, I'm sure you probably have like a dagger hidden in your like pant leg or something. Yeah, so yeah, you're very like, I'm assuming you probably have some pretty vivacious energy. Well, I mean, I guess your name is Saucy X Saucy, right? Saucy times saucy equals extra saucy, right? So yeah, so be careful how saucy you're being, or just know that, you know, for instance, in the next 6 weeks you could get into weird dynamics, like with Venus and Gemini, with them being the twins, it can be like third party, 3 ways, group sex. I mean, weird shit like that if you're into that kind of stuff. But if you're trying to have a serious relationship with someone, just be careful. It's not a good time to jump into something like that. So spiritual growth, I mean, basically just slow down. You know, you went through some life-changing situation. You don't want to create another one, right? And then, but what's nice about it is if you do slow down and if you take the time to kind of, you know, really assess the situation and look before you leap. I mean, literally, this is the card of look before you leap, right? Then you're going to really save yourself and spare yourself from any kind of mental anguish. And it shows you coming out of it. It's in reverse. So that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So it means you're able to do that. I'll pull one more card for you. King of Pentacles. All right. So, you know, whether that's financial resources, it's from an authority figure, a masculine figure. So that's either someone coming to you in a relationship factor or in a career factor. Someone's showing up to support you in your resources. So that's either in your value systems or in your financial resources. So someone's coming up. I'll pull one more card for you for numbers, and it looks like 9. So that's either 9 weeks or 9 months. Okay, so that's your reading for you. Saucy, just be careful. Like, you know, it's not time to spread that sauce too much. You know, be conservative with your sauce. Don't get too saucy. If you're gonna spill the sauce, make sure it's worth it and it's well directed. Okay, that's your message. Hope you're doing great. Keeping it spicy out there in the world. Yeah, just be careful. Be mindful. Just slow down a little bit, you know. That's as simple as that, you know. Just don't jump into things blindly, I guess, is really the clarity we're looking at. Okay. All right, sending you lots of love. Thank you for stopping by. I always appreciate a sub, tip, whatever you got. All good either way. Thank you so much. We have the beautiful Miss Lavender Seas here, and I believe she's been waiting since yesterday. Oh my gosh. I better really... You know, yeah, Saucy, you know, come on. Like, I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, all like, I'm just telling you what you already know, girl. So, I'm assuming you're a girl. It looks like you're a girl. Small icon there. Yeah, have fun. Be careful. Don't jump in lava. Miss Lavender, how can I help you this evening? Let's see if you already asked a question or not. I'm looking for a new job. Do you see anything coming my way? All right, well, let's see what the stars say about... let's see what the themes are and see what it's saying and see if there's any spirit... You know, all the things in our lives have to do with us balancing and overcoming all these astrological aspects, karma, recognizing ourselves as unlimited beings, right? So, you know, that's really the hose job that we're going through here, is that we create all these limitations and these self-views, realizing that none of it's even real, right? All we are truly is persistent consciousness, and we're gifted with all these other things, right? Some things, but it all comes and goes, right? So it's not really who we are. It's the opportunity and situation we find ourselves in. And we just have to honor it so we don't fuck it up too much, right? Because if you fuck it up too much, you gotta pay back the debt, so to say, right? So anyway, I'm getting down on the jams, dude. I just made all these jams today. I was trying to make some jams that were kind of like chill, James Bondy, kind of wacky and spirited, right? I like wacky and spirited. They're kind of wacky. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. Listen to my jams. Listen to my card reading. Miss Lavender, let's see what's going on. Miss Lavender, why don't you pick deck 1, 2, or 3 ahead of time? So while I'm shuffling here, the delay doesn't take forever to find that answer later, I'll just ask you now. Pick deck 1, 2, or 3 ahead of time. It comes through the chat quicker than it does through the screen, so to say. And Miss Saucy, as a Sagittarius, you are optimistic, good-humored, honest, intellectual, loving. On the shadow side, you can be irresponsible or tactless, which is what you want to avoid. You are ruled by your thighs. Your planet is Jupiter, and you are a fire sign. So be good out there. Don't be too froggy. Miss Lavender, what sign are you, Miss Lavender? I feel like we've had this conversation, but I apologize. I talk to a lot of people, so it's hard for me to pinpoint, but I do remember. Okay, and then it's getting kind of late, so I think I'm gonna have to, well, that was not a good shovel. Let's start paying attention. We're gonna wrap it up after Hippie. Hippie, thanks for coming by if you're still here. All right, I'm gonna do a 3-card reading for Lavender. Let's see what she's up to here. I'm assuming you're a female. I don't know, but let's 12. Aries. My dad's an Aries. Do you know what your ascendant or your moon sign is? Aries. Well, Jesus. Yeah, nothing. You know, Aries and Leos right now are the two signs that seem to be kind of scot-free. Not scot-free, but just, you know, I just don't, they're not getting clobbered right now. You might feel a little limited right now. Like a little bit powerless in some level. Like you want to take action, right? Aries want to take action, right? You want to take action, but you can't. That's a theme that a lot of Aries can feel right now, depending on your astrology. Let's see what's going on in career. Okay, so patience. Cultivating patience. Really tempering something, right? Patience, tempering, right? Not the funnest thing for an Aries to do, right? Aries are ready to charge forward. And this is saying that in regards to work in general, the lesson is conquering the inner adversary. So there's, you know, that fire, you know, Leo's a fire sign also. That fire, it's a big responsibility. It's a big duty, right? Moon Aries also. Wow. Taurus Ascendant. I would not fuck with you. I'll tell you that much. Jesus Christ. Dude, you're all business. Holy bandanas. Yeah, I'm like that. I'm like freaking. I got a Pisces full moon. I'm out in space, dude. You're like on Earth, ready to kick ass. You're like Bruce Lee. I love it. You've got the energy, man. You're ready to make shit happen. Aries moon Taurus. God, you don't, dude. I would not. If I saw you in a dark alley, I'd start crying. Okay, so you obviously have a lot of energy to tend to, right? You have this Aries sun. You've got your emotions. So your conscious reality and your emotions are always one and the same. They're always moving forward. And then Taurus, it's like do or die. It's like, you know, the way people see you, your personality is very grounded. You know what you want. People are either in or they're out, you know. So when you have that kind of energy, you know, that fire, it's a huge responsibility, right? With power comes responsibility, right? We saw in cartoons growing up, right? So to wield that kind of energy is a big deal, right? So you're gonna have to take extra time, right? You're gonna have to take extra time to really slow down and cultivate that. Now, with Saturn in retrograde, you can't fuck around between now and the end of September. You can't be overly confident at work. You can't. You're gonna be called to task big time, especially if you're getting these kind of cards, right? So you have to really slow down. You have to really be patient here, right? Now, this is the underlying theme before any getting a job or anything like that. This is what needs to be tended to make sure that as you move forward into your career, you're moving forward empowered and not creating any blocks for yourselves or others, if that makes sense. So cultivating strength, calming the beast. This is, you pet the cat, you play it violin music, you make it relax, right? This is the inner adversary. This is the part of you that wants to bite someone or is feeling frustrated. So cultivate practice of meditation, deep exercise, deep physical movement, you know, whatever it takes to, you know, tame this beast, so to say, right? Okay. In the recent past, we have temperance, which is really nice. It shows that there's emotional balance. You've been going through a process of emotional balance. This is not new. This is a process you've been going through. You're well aware of. I don't see anything negative. Now, all I can say is congratulations. I can't see a better outcome card in regards to asking a question like that. Okay, so this is telling me just really simple that hey, give her a break. She's been working on this for a long time. You know, she's really done the work to really create this emotional balance, right? So you got the 2 cups, and you're constantly pouring the water back and forth, which is the emotions, right? And finding your center and your balance with all of it, right? Now, coming up in the future, you have the Knight of Cups. Well, this is somebody who's got an offer, and this is somebody who's ready to ride. This is somebody who's ready to get it on, right? Now, what's interesting here is the offer, there's an emotional nature to it. It's not a pentacle, it's not a wand, right? So there could be something, there's a meaningful relationship that is going to emerge. Someone's going to come to you with an offer, right? This is somebody who understands you. They get you, right? And they have the cup, and they want to meet you halfway with their cup, and they want you to show up with your cup. Well, fortunately, you've been doing the hard work to keep your cups in balance, right? You've been tempering yourself. You've been calming your beast, right? You're in an emotionally balanced state to move forward. So when this person makes the offer, or this offer comes your way, you're able to receive it, right? So it's like the key matches the lock, right? Does that make sense? So if you didn't do this work, if you're not taming yourself, so to say, when this offer shows up, you wouldn't be congruent with it, right? So you have to do this work. You've been doing the work, and congratulations, because of it, you're going to get this offer. So let's look at time frames here. You've got 9 and 3. Okay, so 9 weeks, 3 weeks, 9 months, 3 months. Something within those realms of 3 and 9. Okay, so I hope that's helpful for you. Lavender, you've been doing the work. You're obviously, you know, I would say I'm really impressed, I guess is what I'm saying, is that you take this very serious. You're doing the work. The offer's coming. It's going to be 3 weeks, 9 weeks, you know, 9 weeks, 9 months, you know. So just look, keep an eye open for someone coming to you, right? This is something that's going to pop up out of nowhere, and this person really gets you, and there's a similar value system. You know, he's showing up with the other cup, so to say. You've been filling your cup, and now he's showing up, and he's like, I got the cup too, right? Hey, Crystal, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. I was going to do one more for, let's look at the queue here. If I can see it, if I can find it. Hippie Love. Hippie, are you still here? Oh, you're welcome, Lavender. I hope that was helpful for you. Congratulations. I mean, you're a badass. That's all I gotta say. Crystal, if you'd like a reading, type !join, all lowercase, one word, and it'll enter you into the queue. Next up, we have Hippie Love. Hippie, are you here? And how can I help you? Oh, Pari Preeti. I'm actually just finishing Pari, unfortunately. You know, I already stopped my readings for the evening. So, Crystal, if you would like to enter the queue, enter now before I close it. It's going to be !join, lowercase word. Yeah, it's just like it says on the screen. It says type !join in all lowercase. So Pari, unfortunately, I'm done with readings for the evening. It's past 1 o'clock my time. It's past my bedtime. I'm gonna get in trouble. Well, I'll tell you what. You've made a memorable impression. I'm sure we won't forget. So I'm gonna. I mean, it was creative. I'm impressed. It was very well spelt too. Good job. Good job. Yeah. Yeah. If you just look at the video on the screen, there's like a the actual exclamation mark. You don't have to type it out. But yeah, whatever works for you, man. We could do it. Pari. Unfortunately, I'm not doing any more readings this evening, but you can subscribe. And if you subscribe and turn on notifications, I usually read it like once, almost every day. Sometimes I take a day off. So if you'd like to get in, just hit subscribe notification. As soon as I get on, when I first start, I'm always very free. So if you want, I can give you a full reading. Just do the subscribe and we'll get you there. Yeah, you're getting there, Crystal. It's close. I'm feeling it. Yeah. So anyway. Hippie, you're a Pisces sun, you got a Leo rising, and a Virgo moon. I know the energy. Virgo moon, very analytical. Pisces sun, you know everything. God damn it. Leo rising, everyone needs to know how amazing you are, because you are amazing. I've got a lot of that. I got a Virgo sun, I got a Pisces moon, and a Leo Venus and Leo. So I know the energy, hippie. General life question. Is that enough of a question? Do I need a specific question? Picking pile number 3. I'm female. Hippie. Very thorough. Much appreciated. Virgo moon. Great communicator. Leo rising. I mean, my only question for you is, does everybody acknowledge how beautiful you are? Because with the Leo rising, they're out, right? Is that how it works? Yeah, I mean, Crystal, I'm impressed. I'm feeling it. Oh gosh, Lavender, thank you so much. And if you would like, I can give you a full reading. If you want to wait until the next time I'm on, I'll give you a full 10-card reading. Or if you want one tonight, I really appreciate the donation. I'm more than happy to stick around after the next couple readings and give you a full 10-card reading. It's totally up to you. But you've got one on me, Lavender. You got a whole 10-card Celtic Cross reading. So just let me know when you would like that, okay? Whether it's the next time I read, I'll probably be on tomorrow or Sunday or Monday. So you've got one on me, okay, Lavender? You just let me know. Crystal, I think you're on it. You're doing it. I'm impressed. Okay, hippie. You want pile number 3. You're a female. I wanted to ask a love question. Who is coming to me in regards to love? Okay, just a 3-card. Okay. If you don't mind, hippie, if you could just give me a second. Anyone who gives a donation, I always put them up in the queue. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to do a quick 3-card for Lavender real quick. But let me pull your cards first, just so they're out, so we can start looking at them. So you have something to chew on. Okay. So, well, first we're gonna pull Hippie's cards and just get them out. Then I'll give you one. Okay. Okay. So Hippie, you wanted 3. Is that correct? Okay. So 3. Okay. So Hippie, we're gonna get your cards out, and then we can get this conversation going. So Hippie, this is. I mean, if I've ever seen a Leo Virgo, this is it right here. Look at all that beauty. Sunshine. Looks like you're coming out of deep mental bondage in the past. So there's something that you've really overcome, and you've had to reclaim your spirit. Good work. I mean, that's serious stuff. Okay. Then you have the Nine of Swords in reverse coming up here. Now what I'm going to do, Lavender, is I'm going to shuffle And while I'm talking to Hippie about this reading here a little bit, okay? So I got another deck here. This is my other deck here, my other writer deck, and this is a really cool deck. This is it's the same deck, but it's borderless. See, it's really cool. I love this deck. Okay, so Lavender, I'm going to give you a reading on this one. Okay, so all right, so let's talk this out, Hippie. I just made these jams today. Do you like the cheesy saxophone? I love it. You got it, Lavender. You got it. Okay, so, all right, Hippie, let's talk this out while I'm shuffling for Lavender here. Okay, cool. Let's see here. Okay, so we have the Nine of Pentacles. Fortunately, it's in the upright position. That's not a card you want. The downward position is basically like a pitch. You don't want that. I wouldn't tell you that if it was upside down. I'll tell you that much. So anyway, so the nine of Pentacles in the upright position. You know, it's this feminine energy that's really harvested her balance, right? Her resources. Resources are not just money. It's our values also and our beliefs, right? So it's what we have to work with on the planet. So in your situation here, you've got Pari. Yeah, I should be on tomorrow. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. Okay. Now, I'm going to read the cards just the way I see them for you, Hippie, because you would just like a general spiritual growth reading. So what I'm seeing here is that you've basically come out of some sort of mental bondage, right? So that means that there was some sort of mindset, right, that wasn't serving you well, you know? So sometimes that can come in the form of a bad relationship, right? It can be in the form of someone told you something that really wasn't helpful, or it's something where you've had a self-view that was not supporting you at all. And what happened is that eventually, as the numbers in the swords grow, they grow stronger and stronger and stronger, and you get to, you know, you're at the eight of swords here, and you're just tied up, you're in bondage with your own thoughts, right? So you've broken free, and there's some, you know, major shift there. So, you know, what I'm seeing for you right now at this moment is that, you know, you've really reclaimed your spirit, right? And not everybody's able to do that in their life, right? Some people just kind of lose it and never kind of get it all back, you know? So congratulations, you're a warrior, a spiritual warrior for yourself. You see a lot of yellow in this card. There's a lot of vitality. It's a lot of solar plexus energy. So that Leo's really paying off for you. That Leo energy that you have. So anyway, you've really independently and by your own merit and by your own effort, you've liberated yourself from a bad situation. So again, it could be your own mental processes, or you were in a bondage where somebody was manipulating you into believing you weren't as powerful as you are. It could be something like that. So whatever this was, you've freed yourself. Now coming up in the future, you have the Knight of Swords, but the Knight of Swords is in reverse. Now, it may not be a good or a bad thing, because the Knight of Swords, sometimes in the upright position, it's kind of like somebody, it's a masculine energy, and it's a charge forward that can be a little naive or a little rushed. So, with the Knight of Swords in the reverse position, what we see is, you know, there's a little bit of scattering of thoughts or some sort of disregard for things, but I'm going to get some clarifiers here to see what this is all about, to see if this is you or someone else or how this is. So I feel like you've overcome this humongous transition mentally, but you're still in the process of kind of nurturing yourself back to health, and it's important that you're not foolish to rush back out and kind of repeat the same patterns, right? So hey, hi Brianna, how are you? I'm actually done for the readings for this evening, just because it's pretty late where I'm at and I have to wrap up a couple more. But if you want to subscribe and turn on notifications, I'm gonna be on tomorrow, and I'm gonna give Pari a reading. You know, if you do that, you'll be notified as soon as I come on. If you come on early, I've got plenty of free time early on, and it just ends up getting really busy as it gets late. So this is wonderful. So there's some sort of mental perspective that's going to really shift for you in a big way, right? So a lot of this is all mental. You see, you have all swords here, right? So you're kind of fighting to reclaim yourself, but you've already done the hard work. So there's nothing to worry about in that sense. It's like you've reclaimed yourself. Now you're kind of trying to retain yourself, right? So you don't want to go rush out and go repeat the same patterns that got you in this bondage, so to say, right? You've worked your way out, right? So sometimes in life, what we can do is we can get in these patterns, right? Where we're like, I really want this, and then you go get it, and then you trip and fall and hurt yourself on the way or hurt someone else. It's a big freaking mess. And then you go home, you lick your wounds, and then you're like, okay, did I learn something, right? And if you didn't, then what happens is you go through all that painful process, and then as soon as you're feeling better, the first thing you do is you go run out and do it again, right? So that's what we're avoiding here, right? We don't want to. This is like the bumbling fool who's not like really thinking about where he's going, right? So, and since these are swords, right? These are swords in the past, these are swords here, you know, this is all in your head, right? This is all in your head. It's that everything's fine around you. It's just, this is your mental attitude. This is your perspective on things, right? So with the Nine of Pentacles, this is your archetype here. This is what you want to focus on. This is the visual. So if you can, download a picture of this on your phone or something, right? So this is the Nine of Pentacles. And this beautiful woman, everything's so beautiful, and she's nurtured herself. And this is someone who does a lot of self-care, takes care of herself, gets plenty of sleep, eats well, you know, like just feels like $1,000,000, right? Because she's somatic. She's in touch with her body. She's not lost in her mind, right? So you really focus on the body, right? What's good about this is that, you know, basically if you don't kind of rush out and fumble again, the Ace of Swords is coming to you, and that's the ultimate gift from the spiritual realms of mental clarity, right? And this is going to be an offer or something that's going to move you forward in a huge way. So this is about as good as it gets in the sense of a card in regards to the mind and the swords, the Ace of Swords. So again, you've done the hard work. Don't repeat it. Don't repeat the situation, so to say. So that's your reading for now. Hopefully that's helpful for you. I got to wrap it up. I'm a little tired here. So Hippie, much love. Please come back for another reading anytime. Any donation amount will get you a full 10-card reading. I also do birth charts. I do comparison charts for relationships. My website is StreetLevel.Live. So if anyone wants to go there, you can get all that stuff. I sell flower essences also. You can even download my album for Name Your Price. So anyway, hopefully that was helpful for you. Thank you very much. This is my camera B. I'm just mixing it up because sometimes it gets boring just to sit there and watch that all the time. And you can watch my face with a big red light in it that's blinding me. Miss Lavender was so generous. Thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate it. Oh yeah, what we did is we shuffled for you here. So on my magic, this is my real special deck here. So got you on my special deck here. So Miss Lavender, let's make sure we're really clear about your question here. So you're wondering about going back here, scrolling back here. Who is coming to you in regards to love? Okay, now let me ask you this, because Venus is going retrograde. So do you have any kind of recent, do you have any exes that there's still vibes with or feelings with? Because you're going to want to be really aware of that in the next like 7 weeks. Stuff coming back. Hippie, I'm really glad that helped you. And just, you know, again, just don't go run out and hit your head again on the same rock, right? You did all the hard work to kill yourself. It's coming in love. Okay. Now, do you have any exit? Anyway, answer the question whenever you have a chance. You have any lingering unopened doors? Because that's the kind of stuff that comes back around when Gemini's and Venus is retrograde in Gemini. All right, here we go. Love, and then we'll pull some timing cards here. Lavender sees. Crushes. Yeah, you've got. Let me see here. So I'm just going down here a little bit. Well, before I even do my readings here, I'm going to say go buy yourself a beautiful dress, go buy yourself some flowers, and do something really feminine for yourself. Do something that's going to make you really generate that kind of energy, and, you know, create an environment that if you had the perfect mate visiting you and spending time with you, that they would feel welcome, like the place was already ready for them, right? That's the kind of energy we want to put in. Okay, so let's just go ahead and, okay, would you like pile 1, 2, or 3? There's so much information here. Oh, thank you so much. I just made all this music today. Thank you. A lot of samples and stuff. My regular music I don't, but thank you. I was trying to make some like chilly music for. Yeah, clean your house, you know. Right? do you want some dew to roll by or not? You know, come on, like put out some. What do men like to eat? You know, I don't know. Put out some celery sticks. I don't know. Oh man. Yeah, look at you, right? Jesus. Okay, so Lavender, is it pile 1, 2, or 3? This is where you get to participate. Okay, so, all right, this is cool. This is I haven't used this deck in a long time, and this is like my main deck. This is like my power deck. So let's tune in and see what we got here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, here's 3. So we're gonna pull it up. Blah 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 blah. Miss Lavender. Oh man, cooked. Oh my gosh, Jesus. Oh, there you go. Look at that. This is. I couldn't have called it much better than what I just told you. This is, you know, look at. I mean, this is the symbol of femininity. She's got pomegranates on her dress. Remember, I just said go buy yourself a dress. So this is the ultimate feminine energy. This is very Taurian. She has the wheat, the harvest. She has the symbol of love and the feminine symbol in Venus. She's got the stars in her crown. She's laying back. She's got her like sex swing all figured out. I'm being silly. I'm being playful. But she's got all the pillows, right? The comfort. So she's fully taking care of herself, right? And I had a real strong message for you. That's why I said that about going and buy yourself a dress, take care of yourself. And the feminine, I swear to God, this card just came out naturally. I'm just feeling some power with this message here. So, femininity, 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 femininity. My mother is an amazing woman. She's so beautiful, and she's taken on such a burden in this life, so much heavy energy, so much responsibility, saving people's lives. I mean, I can't tell you how much she's taken on. And because of it, she's had to have almost like this kind of masculine front, right? But she's this very, very Venusian, beautiful person, right? But she's had to kind of play the role of the father and the mother, so to say, right? So the reason I'm telling you that is that often, you know, if we're very skilled at our articulation and we have like a lot of really powerful outgoing energy, it can come across as kind of masculine sometimes, or it can be interpreted that way. And, you know, the feminine energy really arises, and this is energy. It doesn't really matter what gender you are or what you're attracted to. It's just all energy, right? I mean, I'm a very effeminate man, but I'll punch at someone out if they touch my daughter. You know what I mean? Like, I'll take care of business. So everyone has different degrees of masculine and feminine energy. I'm getting this very, very strong energy for you that you need to kind of like give yourself an opportunity to feel the beauty and the pleasure of what you really are inside, you know, and allow the opportunity for that sensitivity to emerge, right? So it's like, it's when we take extra time to be intimate with ourselves, and that can mean a lot of things, right? So this is, you know, buying yourself some wine and chocolate, you know, buying yourself that dress, you know, making sure the temperature is warm in your house, making sure that maybe your favorite incense is burning, or it's these sensual pleasures that instill a sense of peace and harmony in our lives. And when you really create that love den in your own life, you generate that outside of you, right? So we don't put that level of intimacy and sensitivity aside and say, oh, well, maybe I'll meet someone and then I can go buy some lingerie for that one special night when he treats me nice, right? This is a lifelong path of cultivating your feminine energy. And, if you don't have a lingerie drawer, but, make one, you know what I'm saying? Or get it back out again if it's in storage, so to say. I have no idea where you're at. I don't know you. I don't know anything about you. I'm just reading the cards as I see it. And I got a real strong intuitive thing for you before I even pulled that card, which is absolutely strange. I'm giving you a little extra energy here because I really appreciate the donation. Thank you so much. Okay. In the recent past, so that's interesting. I think we had that card in the other reading, didn't we? So in the recent past is the strength card in reverse, and this is a little bit of self-doubt or lack of self-discipline. And the way that I would take that to see this in this reading is not taking the time. Suditi, hey, thanks for stopping by. I'm actually done with readings tonight. Just a little burnout, guys, but I'm gonna do more tomorrow. And I think I might start streaming earlier because I end up working all day and then streaming late, and then I'm just kind of bonked out. But maybe I'll start streaming earlier and I can do longer sessions and just kind of chill with you guys. Lavender, this is making the time, and being vulnerable. Like, I don't know how to describe this. It's kind of personal, you know what I mean? But it's like, it's so easy to overlook the level of intimacy that we can afford ourselves. I don't know if that makes sense. So take the time to explore yourself. Take the time to really allow yourself to be vulnerable and feminine to yourself. And make the time, make it a priority. Don't put a job in front of it. Don't put a self-doubt in front of it. Don't put like, oh, well, I don't know how to, be feminine, or I don't look good in heels, or I don't, it's all symbolic stuff. I mean, I don't mean literally you have to dress up, like the archetypical woman, I just mean that, really affording yourself a deep, deep sense of intimacy can be very vulnerable and scary, and I'm saying for yourself, right? Like not even for someone else at this point, you know what I mean? This is about moving energy blocks so that when the future comes, it's coming in the right way that's going to be truly beneficial to you and really helpful for you. Now, in the upcoming future, you have the Death in reverse. Now, Death in reverse, this is fantastic. This is an absolute renewal of your very being. If you're able to move on, if you're able to move forward, if you're willing to move forward. So I'll be honest with you, I'm sensing a little bit of an emotional wound around the feminine, around the personal vulnerability to yourself, and I apologize if this is too public or anything, but I'm feeling a very sensitive boundary that needs to be negotiated in regards to your femininity. And it's not like it's not there. It just means there's an extra level of intimacy that you can have with yourself, that as you get in touch with that, when somebody moves into your life and comes toward you, not only are you going to bring that person who's going to be able to give you that extra level of intimacy and sensitivity and openness and honesty and kindness, but you'll be able also to provide that back. So this is, how do you want to live your life? Could you want to go deeper? You can go deeper if you want to go deeper. And I highly recommend it. You could live your entire life without ever experiencing that extra level of intimacy. And a lot of people don't. You don't have to if you don't want to. But I see that there's actually a very deep desire in you to explore these realms that may be surprising to you. I mean, you might find yourself in a situation a number of months down the line doing this work, just being like, holy shit, I had no idea I could be so happy, right? I could be so fulfilled. I could be so in touch with myself, that I could be so fulfilled, and it has nothing to do with what I'm thinking or believing. It's all in my body. It's all in my breath and my expression and the deepest level of intimacy I've created for myself, right? So don't mean to get too weird there. Hopefully that's not too weird. It's just, I'm feeling a very strong energy here with this for you. Okay. So looking out to the future, you've got the number 3. Okay. So this is homework, right? This is like getting the books in order first, right? Now you can just go out and keep doing what you're doing. You can keep being that same level of intimacy you're at right now. You can still be the same level of allowing yourself and affording yourself what you have if you want to continue that pattern, right? You can. But if you do this homework, right, looking out into the future, we get the number 3, right? So we're looking at 3 weeks, we're looking at 3 months, potentially 3 years. But I get the feeling here that 3 months, there's a landmark, there's some movement forward here. So you have that opportunity to, over the next 3-month period, to really afford yourself this level of intimacy. And I'm talking like create the, most beautiful, warm, comfortable place you can for yourself within your own home, and create the environment that's going to really create this kind of, support this kind of intimacy with yourself and others and the partner. So I'm looking at 3 here. Well, okay, let's look at this one step at a time. Okay, well that comes from heartbreak. That comes from some sort of view. There's a view here, right? We don't need to try to uproot it and fight it, but there's a view here about sorrow, right? There's a view of heartbreak. There's a view of not being lovable. There's some kind of view here, right? So then you extend that into your self-view, right? Into the level of intimacy you allow yourself. Now, by allowing yourself this deeper level of intimacy, you're going to start discovering, and you're going to move out of your mind regarding this stuff. You're going to discover somatically your Kundalini. You're going to discover somatically, the first time that you really open up in your root chakra and let it flow, so to say, your life will never be the same. So let's just say it that way. So, and I'm trying not to be too graphic here. This is true life force. This is real. This is real stuff. So there's a view about that needs to be looked at. But again, there's a way to look at trauma, right? One way to look at trauma is that you were in a plane crash, right? And that was difficult and there was a lot of suffering, right? Well, when there's a plane crash and you survive it, right? You don't get out and start trying to put the plane together. You get the far fuck away from the plane as you can, right? So trying to heal, instead of trying to heal and fix, I kind of have issues with that shit, right? It's like, oh, let's just hang out at the plane crash and we're going to grab this, toilet paper roll and we're going to try to attach it back on the wall, and then let's go find the radio over here, and we're going to try to strap it to the dead pilot. Yeah, it's just a waste of fucking time, right? So, I guess what I'm saying here is, instead of focusing on this pain and instead of focusing on the suffering, create something that's actually practical, right? And so you're just stuck in this view that your life is you're destined to work and you're unlovable and it's this kind of thing. You've seen this square and you're going to stay in this square, right? Now, like I said, though, you got to trust me on this, okay? Is you have to like create the boudoir of love in your own apartment, right? Like you have to like take care of yourself. You need to create that level of intimacy yourself, spending like 2 or 3 hours pleasuring yourself, whatever it takes to like create a comfort with that level of intimacy. And it's not just about sex. This isn't just about orgasm. This is about slowing down. This is about taking the bath first. This is about the essential oils. This is about the smells. This is about the absolute ground floor of sensuality within yourself. And I'm just going to plant that seed for you, okay? So just, but that is going to be you walking away from the plane wreck, so to say, right? So instead of thinking like, how do I keep fixing the plane wreck? How do I fix it? You actually create a different environment, a new reality for yourself. And it's a journey of exploration and joy, right? And that's a lot better than sitting around saying, why doesn't anybody love me, right? Why isn't this happening this way? I've been with myself since 20, paying my rent and bills, going to university, trying to get good grades, working 2 jobs. Maybe I come across masculine and strong. No, you've just had, it's not, there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's just like, you have to do that. That's what my mom had to do, right? And she literally had to save people's lives, she had to sleep in her car to go to college, school. I mean, it was just crazy level of stuff she had to deal with, so much suffering, right? So there's a time for everything, right? And now it's not time for that anymore, right? You've been doing this and you got yourself in a pattern that feels safe, it feels comfortable, and you need to afford yourself that level of intimacy that you deserve. Simple as that. It's as simple as that. So is this it's an emotional release. There's emotional, it's hard. I was sexually abused when I was a kid. I'm a boy, and it's like, that's hard, but it took me a long time to open up sexually and feel safe when somebody was touching me or, wanted to be intimate. I didn't know what intimacy was. I didn't know that you could actually take a deep breath and relax and enjoy yourself. I didn't know that was okay. I just responded to it in an uncomfortable way. I was touched inappropriately. And so I never afforded myself the beauty of that. And there's nothing to be ashamed of, so that's what I'm talking about. And this is deep, deep shit. You know what I mean? This is shit that as a society, we're not even addressing. Right. So, and when you start feeling it and you start feeling in your heart that you deserve that level of intimacy, and it's not, somebody else is not going to give it to you, right? It's something you give to yourself. And then when somebody wants to share that same experience with you, you already know the level of intimacy that you're able to go to, right? And you're able to share that, right? Sexuality is it's so distorted and screwed up, and it's not the beauty of what it really is, and the level of it's intimacy, right? Intimacy is vulnerability and presence, right? And when you do that and you're trusting, you're able to surrender your tensions and your fears and your suffering, and you see the light. I don't know how else to say it. It's a beautiful thing. So anyway, I talked about it way too much, but anyway, you get the idea. Go online, explore, buy yourself some lingerie, do what you need to do to create a warm, comfortable environment for you to start exploring that, I mean, I can't say it any better. So we're not going to fix the plane crash by hanging out, trying to put it back together. Create a beautiful environment for you to be a woman and to explore that, the more opportunity you have to be feminine, the more you're going to bring that towards you, Yeah, I know, and it's a very common thing for a lot of people, and unfortunately, people live their entire lives without any awareness of that energy, and unfortunately, the life force doesn't move through them, and they get sick and they die. I mean, I hate to be blunt, but people are literally sick because they're not able to express their intimacy. They're not able to truly feel the movement of the life force through their heart, through their body. We block our hearts emotionally. We block our root chakras because we're ashamed of ourselves. And meanwhile, there's these vulnerable people that are just absolutely suffering, you know, trying to please some idea from some fucking sick person that drops some bullshit on us. And then, you know, and then so it's up to us whether we want to live that. Do we want to be sick our entire lives? Or do we want to afford ourselves the level of intimacy we deserve as people, you know? So I don't mean to get so serious, but this is so personal for me, and I think it's like this is at the root of like our suffering as human beings. You know, this is a very profound thing for you, and this is why you have this card right here. This is your choice. You know, do you want to live like this or do you want to live like that? You know, it's up to you, right? So, you know, and the cool thing about it is that, you know, your message is basically go have fun, right? How bad could your message be, right? Go have fun. The more you get in touch with yourself, the more you're going to attract people who want to share that with you, right? Does that make sense? So if you're blocking it because you've been told this bullshit story from stifled people who are sick and they get like, you know, cancer in their hip area because they're blocking all their energy, then, you know, fucking go for it, you know, fuck that shit. I'm rebellious. I don't do that shit. Like I said, the number's 3. Look, do the work, see what's out there, and then you got a lot of 3s here. You got 3 here, 3 here. So have fun, dude. Afford yourself intimacy. There's your message, okay? And this is you right here. This is you just being beautiful. So literally, like, look up the Empress card, put it on your phone, look at it, read about it, and create that. You know, what's it going to take for you to feel like the way she looks? You know. So anyway, Lavender, I hope that is helpful. I know that got kind of deep there for a second, but I do feel like this is an opportunity for your soul to be set free. You know, and to break energy patterns that stifle and hurt people. You know, and we don't need that, right? Thank you so much for your support. It really means the world to me. I'm trying to get this thing moving and going, and you've given me a lot of help. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. That's gonna be it for the evening, guys. Thank you so much, everyone, for stopping by. Lavender, I really hope that helped you. You know, allow yourself to just feel that for a while and just let it sink in. You know. Hippie, thanks so much for the support on the music. Brianna, I really look forward to giving you a reading soon. Oh, thank you, Hippie. I have an album. It's not this kind of music. It's more kind of weird spiritual music. But if you go to StreetLevel.Live and go to the homepage, and you scroll down, I have an album called Our Invisible Guest. I do a lot of music. It's name your price. So I think it's like you can buy the whole album, 13 songs for like $1. So feel free to download that if you like the music. It's more weird music, more spiritual weird music. But if you like this, I mean, I could probably put this up too. Thank you so much. Yeah, I just made all this music today. Yay! Thank you. Is there anyone interested in me though? Well, yeah, again, so this is. Wow, I can feel. My feelings. Oh god, my headphones just blew up. All right, give me a second here. Yeah, let's. Let me pull a few more cards here. We can look at it. I think that the opportunities are there, but for the real meaningful ones, it's going to be this work to do. So let's look at cards here. So we got Justice. All the cards mean different things in different ways, right? So justice, fairness, cause. You know, I would look at this as kind of like you'll get what comes back to you. You have the Two of Cups, so this is a love offering. I mean, it doesn't really get more than that. Now, this is what I'm picking up on. This is that it might be a Libra. You might or somebody with a heavy Libra energy, because this is very Libran. And then right after that, you got the Two of Cups, right? So this is a love offering. I don't know if you're familiar with the Two of Cups. Shoot, can you see? Is the cards up there? Okay, cool. But this is a love offering. So it's somebody, you know, a cup, it's full of water, and you have two people coming together to offer each other their cups, right? They want to share, right? So this is the perfect love offering. Now, I don't know who's offering who, right? So if you have someone in mind, you might want to make that offer. But like I said, this is either going to be somebody who's in either a legal profession associated with legal. So it could be a police officer, it could be somebody who does legal paperwork, they could work on taxes, some sort of administration. This could be somebody who's a Libra, like I said. So any of those signs or any of those kinds of indications you want to be aware of. But I mean, you couldn't really get a better card here. Now, again, it was 3 months, 3 weeks is where I would see something like this coming out. I don't recommend that you get in a relationship in the next 7-week period because of Venus being retrograde. But what I would do is, but you might have opportunities for intimacy. So if you're open to that, so. Well, his personality is going to be, a very fair type person. I mean, the Justice card, it's very Libran, right? So that's air, very intuitive, fairness and balance, and that's wonderful. I mean, that's what you want. You want somebody who fights for fairness and balance. You don't want somebody who's, all wonky, right? We could pull some more cards here in personality. Very in touch with his nurturing side, and looks like he's got good resources, and somebody who's mentally clear. I mean, that's a pretty good. Here, let me put your cards up here. So here's your love offering here, as you have the symbol of the judge, right? Somebody who works in government, lawyer, something within those realms, right? Legal, police officer, court clerk, government job, government position. The two cards I got as far in regards to personality, in addition to the balance and fairness or the Libran energy, is the Queen of Pentacles, which is somebody who's really in touch with their intuition and somebody who has their resources well managed and nurtured and taken care of. If you look at the Queen of Pentacles, she's holding the pentacle and she's making sure it's taken care of and nurtured properly. And the Four of Swords is somebody who's taken the time to really, with the mind, for instance, we need to take breaks, right? So this is somebody who's taken the break from the mental burdens and has given themselves an opportunity to rest, to see very clearly. This is somebody who knows all because they've taken the time to clear their mind. When you clear your mind, you can hear everything, so to say, right? So Libran, government type job, government position, or anything to do with fairness or balance, materially centered, and probably very well-to-do financially, and then very clear in the mind. So I don't know if that helps frame a picture, but again, look for somebody who has that kind of government job vibe, right? And it looks like somebody who's willing to work together with you. But again, focus on that feminine energy. So when you show up, you are an equal. See, these are two people who are equals. Okay. All right, so I hope that's helpful for you. And that, again, your time frame's 3 weeks, 3 months. Okay. Okay, I'm falling asleep, so I'm gonna. Thanks for your supportive comments, Hippie. I appreciate that. Lavender, I really feel like this is a total transformation for you. So I think you just have a lot to chew on. But again, just first thing I would do is go hit Victoria's Secret and buy yourself something you wouldn't usually let yourself buy yourself, right? Like afford yourself that beauty. So, well, thank you for your time and energy and your support. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful night, and thank you so much. And anyone who's still here, please subscribe and turn on notifications so we can hang out again soon. I'll probably be back on tomorrow afternoon. You guys have a great evening, sending lots of love, and I really, really appreciate everybody's time and energy. Sending lots of love. It's a wacky time, guys. Be patient. Lots of retrograde planets, and I will see you soon. All right.